Yeah, I still can hear kind of in the background a little, but you said it's not as bad, right?
Yeah, can you hear the music in the back of mine?
No, I don't hear anything in your background.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because this one is playing Michael Jackson right now.
Yeah, in the audience, let me know if uh, if the fan is too loud in the background. Uh, got a new fan, so I'm trying to figure and get this set up straight. So yes, please let me know if the fan is too loud.
No, I
Uh,
don't hear it.
okay. All right. So I guess I'll get this intro kicked off and get into it. All right. Hold on 1 second. Baba says she doesn't hear it good. Yeah, you're not late. It is us that is late, and it's mostly on my behalf. For those who don't know,
What's up, Bobby?
it was
Thanks
it
for
was
joining.
a Sabbath for me. So out here on the West Coast, it didn't get dark till not that long ago. So as soon as it went dark, I had to go rush around and try to get everything ready, and so that does make me a little slower. My apologies.
Shit, you almost lost your co-host today, kid.
Are you about to go out go partying or something?
No, I mean like you almost lost your co-host. I had to call the lifeguards to like, yo,
Oh, like lost you. Oh shit.
yeah, like yo, the like I'm good in the water. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I swim. You know what I mean? Like I'm really good. I'm not at all worried. But I respect Mother Nature in the water, right?
Hmm.
Yo, the water was probably like a little bit above my waist. I went underneath the water, felt like they turned on the vacuum. That shit started just sucking me out. It was me and the boys, all three of
Hmm.
us was out there. So I had to like grab Marcus, keep him in front of me, you know, as them shit sucking us back. Jay was like, yo, dad, I'm swimming, but I'm going backwards. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I looked up at the lifeguard shit. I was like, yo, like, yo, they had to come get us because, yo, that shit was crazy. And, normal, like, I've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm new to this or they new to it,
Hmm.
but today was just, they really turned on the Hoover. That shit was just like vacuum. Like, I mean, I was kind of laughing and shit, but still, it was still
I
low
mean,
key.
it's
Like,
funny. It's
oh,
funny after the fact, once you survived.
yeah, even in it, I was still like, because my whole thing was like, all right, let me just make sure I keep Marcus above water, and I could
Mhm.
still stand up somewhat. You know what I'm saying? But it was pulling us back, kid. Like that shit was crazy. So even
And
though when the lifeguards came out here, they said, "No, I see how y'all got stuck." I said, "Yeah, no shit."
well, and what I was,
So,
I was trying to tell somebody too, when you're like out in the middle of the ocean, it's different than when you're right next to the coast. When
yeah,
you're swimming next to the coast, it's rougher.
yeah.
But people get the misconception. They think, oh no, it got to be worse way out there. It's like, not really.
Yeah.
Actually, when you're way out there, it's actually easier
But
because it's
the crazy part, you would think like, oh, how far were you? Like, no, we weren't even when we started where we stopped to start going under the water, it wasn't that deep. The three of us
mm,
went under the water. We came up like, 8 seconds later, and it was like, yo, we mad far. But
I gotta.
everybody's here and accounted for. I was like, yo, my mom's would have killed. If something would have happened to us, my mother would have killed herself to find us to kill us again.
Wow. Oh man, I know what that's like. Um, let's see. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I decided to put us onto TikTok. So, Chris,
Are
you're
we on?
actually on
Oh,
TikTok now.
I'm on TikTok. This is my TikTok debut. Ah, shit, damn son.
It's like, yeah, I got the And I see we got Baba out there, Jared, and A. Ross is in the building. Much love to all of y'all. Glad y'all are spending this Saturday with us, and I know y'all don't have to. So many other places y'all can be. Y'all saw the title,
in the
of
world.
course.
You here with
Yeah.
me? So we appreciate it. Thank you.
That's right. What am I doing? Yeah, Tokyo, you got to get me because I'm still in Chris's lines. Everybody know that that's Chris's lines.
No, that's not my line. I took that from a rapper. Like, I wish it was me, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but as far as the show, you always say it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, got you. But it don't matter, son. We, look, we family, baby.
So let's get this intro kicked off. What the heck is going on? Oh, man, I'm having so many problems with all my electronics. They're not loving me right now.
They got monkey COVID pop.
Political matrix.
There's a stunt double. He walked out. He's got an oximeter on his back. I'm like, you gotta keep other. Marcus said on his other show. He was like, American politics is simply pro wrestling.
You became afraid of everyone because people were reporting on each other.
We're living out Minority Report too as well. And
You know why? You know why we know that, boss? Because we've been reporting on it.
yeah, I know.
All the black people in this country be willing to take a reservation.
That's what the Nation of Islam was asking for.
To put a couple of clips together.
It's crazy to see how much Martin Luther King really began to look like, damn, man, Malcolm was fucking right.
I mean, what is the elite's end game?
There's this assumption that as a black commentator or black journalist that you're not informed.
Relationships, that's a skill we have to learn. It's even more kind of mind-blowing because we're supposed to be the multicultural space.
Trying to drum up money to keep the war machine going so they can keep the donors happy.
Yeah. Do the Chinese own part of that?
Began a long time ago. Ukraine has had a neo-Nazi problem for decades.
Proof of sanction, am I right?
I don't know if dom-copters will do it, but something's got to be able to save the world.
From the private industry here.
Like I say, people come on here, they can say stuff they don't normally say on their own shows, which is fine.
Oh, it's McDonald's. Whoop-de-doo.
Ooh.
And their cholesterol is going to go down. Yeah, good.
Look, we only exist because we have the biggest military, kid.
And silencing a person like Julian Assange. Because it affects everybody. And today, last week, believe you me, because they know who you are. They watch. They got people that's going out there. They don't want you guys having the conversations that you're having on this show. Mm-hmm. So it affects the political matrix today.
Hello, and welcome everybody. Now it's time to start the show. This is the Political Matrix. I'm your host, Marcus Cage, or other known as Young Morpheus, here with my co-host and friend and colleague, Mr. Cy Lawson. The title of the show tonight is A Queen Dies, a King Rises. So I don't know if you guys got in here early enough and caught me and Chris talking a little bit, but Chris is lucky to be here with us tonight.
For real, like literally, but it's all good though because I'm here, so it don't matter.
Fucked around with that current, almost found out.
What they say, fuck around and found out. Fuck around, find out. I almost did, but my ego and pride wasn't so big that I couldn't be like, yo, yeah. Let's go. I watched enough, but you know what? I watched enough wrestling to know that you got to tag. You got to tag in.
You got to tag that teammate.
Demolition had to tag in the Steiner brothers. You know what I'm saying? All them groups, they all had to tag in.
And I see our buddy Hamza is in here. Hamza says Queen died years ago. Never know. They do some crazy-ish, so never know what they might have done. But I guess now it's official. So he says it was her hologram for the last few years. Baba says some fool saying, I hope the king steps up and turns things around. What the fuck? The WEF Rob Child. I mean, did you guys see? Let me go to what Jalen sent me. Shout out to Jalen out there. Let's see, where is it at? Dang it, that's the wrong one. But yeah, Jalen sent me this link from a thread about the Queen. And if you, I know you guys could see it from I put it in the show title. But let's share this on the screen, because we talk about this stuff all the time. And I wanted to bring this up just so we can all look at it real quick. I don't know if you saw this or not, Chris, or you might have seen it already. This is the Queen, so we can establish that's her old crusty ass with whoever little assistant lady. But notice something interesting here on the belts line. Let's close that one and zoom into the close-up. What do we see here, Chris?
Oh, you already know it's Mason, like what's the word? I'm drawing a blank, but you know it's all shit. Symbolism.
The Freemason symbol, right?
Yeah,
there
it's all
on one
correct.
side. But the interesting part, we all expect that. But what is that symbol sitting next to it?
It's the sign of the Israelites. And
No.
And
That would be 6-pointed.
No. I'm being super sarcastic.
Oh, okay, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the image on my Twitter. So let me change that image so that way they can see our faces and see. But let's see. What are we saying in the chat? He's the one who kicked off the WEF digital passport. Exactly. So I'm like, the king, really? She's a lizard. I mean, I hear people go into that about like the royal family or lizard people and all of that. What's up, Octus? But I don't really, I don't go there. I don't think that they're literally like some kind of shape shifting lizards. I think when people talk about that, they talk about that they are snakes, that they are reptilians in the way that they act and the way they move. They're cold-natured, and I think that's more what they're talking about. And I think maybe somebody saying that way back when turned into them literally being lizards. I mean, it's the same thing with when somebody says, "Oh, well, they sold their soul to the devil." Do I really think like the devil came up and like, you know, sat down with them at a coffee shop and, you know, had them sign something and drip a couple of drops of blood? No. I mean, but if you go to the Hebraic understanding of what devil just means deceiver. So there are a lot of actual devils. Many of us have met many devils. Many of us talk to devils every damn day. And so what that means is, you know, when they're going to these big elites and they're signing these contracts, and the contracts are literally saying, hey, we're going to take your name, your likeness, everything, and you answer to us. That's the reason why you have people like Britney Spears losing their damn minds when you start getting completely controlled. So that's what it means by like selling your soul to the devil, because once you get into Hollywood and all that, you start finding that it really is a club. I mean, like, I don't know if you know this or not, Chris. You might know this, and some of the chat might know this, especially anybody who lives out in California. The Hollywood, the Hollywood elites literally control the police department. I mean, it's like under their jurisdiction. And so if they decide they want to run the police after certain celebrities and stuff like that who go afoul in Hollywood, they literally can get the police involved and get charges put on people. So, I mean, it gets crazy. See, Streets is in the building also. Hamza says, have you guys seen her pics with Hitler and doing a Nazi salute? Let me check that one. Kia, the pissed off Canadian. Yes, down with the monarchy. Exactly. We're all about down with the monarchy. Let me check real quick. I might not have seen that one. I know I got the other one that you sent me, Hamza, that I'm gonna share tonight.
Irish Twitter was pretty much the funniest place to be.
I know they were going off.
The Irish Twitter was actually quite funny in many different ways. The wit, the sarcasm, the outright like "fuck you" aspect of it. All of it was just very funny.
And we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. Yeah, Hamza, I don't have that one. The last one you sent me is the Boyce Watkins one. Yeah, that's the last one I have.
You know,
man, wait a minute, what's going on?
You know what's funny? I mentioned Irish Twitter, right? And how they were so dismissive of how dismissive they were of the death of the lady, right? Jamaica, on the other hand, is like, oh, we're going through 12 days of mourning. Pussy them. Yo, me have to say it. Pussy them. Lord God, you top boy. You have a dear mourning for that woman. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, no. That's just, and again, it just goes to show like the difference between generations, right? Because generation us and younger, right? We pay them no mind. They're irrelevant to us, right? We don't care about the royal family. We really don't give, like, they don't register for us, right? For those above us, like my grandma, rest in peace, who just passed away, she kept up kind of with everything as it relates to the royal family. And a lot of other West Indian and African, the diaspora from the Caribbean and the African countries, you know what I'm saying? They do very much pay attention to the royal family, and they very much are emotionally invested. So if you look throughout those countries, you see their response from the younger generation versus their parents' generation. It is something worth noticing.
Yeah, and I see we got a couple of friends here over on the Rockfin side. Got Denver is in the building. Always good to see Denver. Says, hey fellas, wickedness and disregard for others' well-being, that's selling your soul, in my opinion. I agree. James O says she did, but she was 6 and the war hadn't started yet. I think that even if she was only 6, the wickedness which she did later on in her life, or all the times it's not even that you per se are the one that's doing wickedness. Sometimes it's the fact that you allow wickedness, you ignore wickedness. I mean, we can go throughout history all the time where there were people who were doing stuff. There was a handful of people doing it, and there was a whole lot of people who could have stepped in to say something to stop something who didn't do it. So that makes you just as bad, in my opinion. Yeah, Hamza, they might have deleted it. I see something that you sent me that got deleted. And then I had another thing that you sent me from WEF that I had to click through all this crap just to be able to see it. I won't even fuck with the Sacramento Kings. Wow, that's funny. Charles, to put it bluntly, is an anti-human reprobate who has lived a life of disgrace, hypocrisy. Charles is a king who promoted the most destructive cause of our times. Exactly. And it's kind of ironic that that kind of all this happened. Remember what we were talking about last week? Do you remember, Chris? I said, hey, we'll probably talk about some of these other things if nothing big happens.
My man, Misha.
Misha's in the building. Yo, Misha, good to see you, brother. We said, yeah, we'll talk about if something big doesn't come up. And I would definitely consider this something big, especially if you, and onto that, remember we were talking about the world leaders, that most of our world leaders are incompetent and idiots. Does that not explain who we just had step up now?
I mean, yeah, clearly. I mean, there's not much to say, right? I mean, it's kind of like beating a dead horse at this point, but I guess you do have to say yes. You are 100% correct.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we just talked about all those other nations, how bad their leaders were, and now they just got. Ooh, let's see. I need to try to. Let me see if I can bring up my Instagram on here and show this. Y'all know I'm not the most tech savvy person. I've had to learn.
Yo, Mr. Streets just said the whole world seems as if it's shifting, right?
Yeah.
We went from a lot of uprisings from the so-called Arab Spring and all of these other things that popped up after it, one way or the other, grassroots or the counter groups, etc., etc. But either way you look at it, there was a lot of movement amongst the people, right? Then COVID hit. That kind of put everybody back. That sat everybody down. It literally like sucked all the energy out. And then you had the Black Lives Matter movement, but they allowed that to happen here, right? After that died down, it just seemed as if there was here in the States very little action against what was going on. And here we are 2 years later from basically the start of COVID. And people are fucked up. Like I seen Cardi B with. Did you see Cardi B's Instagram shit?
No.
But she was talking about how she helps like her cousins and family members get apartments and shit like that. But she said, "How do people get by if they don't have a me to help them?" And I'm like, what? A broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she was on point with what she was talking about. Just saying, like, I don't know how people get it because what I'm helping my family members with just to get an apartment, she's like, this doesn't make sense. How are regular people getting by?
Well, I mean, that's the one thing that like I and others have pointed out for a while. It's like, even if a so-called, Black or Latino does make it up to the top and making money, a lot of times you got like 50 mouths and hands out that need help within your like immediate to close family, where because of that wealth gap, a situation that we have that's going all the way back from, all the way back to slavery and colonialism and all that. Even when you see somebody who you think, oh, well, they're making all this money now, you don't know how much money is coming out. And so all of that stuff makes a difference. Chris over there looking like a NFL coach, But Hamza, I got it. And I'll put it on the screen in a minute. But that's something that's when I try to tell people, it's like, I do appreciate the allies over there who are willing to call out, what's going on and call out, you know what, hey, it might even been their ancestors and they're willing to be like, yeah, white people done a lot of fucked up shit. But it's those who try to ignore it is where I have the problem. And it's honestly some of the people in our own groups who, oh, what do you mean? You could just do whatever. Yeah, if you're only worried about you, but you still got family members that you got to help lift up. I mean, how many college sports players decide to not finish college because they need to make the money right away? I mean, Chris knows what I'm talking about.
No, there's several of them who end up doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them. I mean, just depending on, what your situation is,
Yeah.
If you need to, some people really got to go and grind. It's not like, because rent is due.
Yeah.
But
let me
at least now these guys have the deals in place, like those NIL deal, the NIL
Mhm.
deal, name,
Yeah.
image, and likeness. For those who don't know, so when we say NIL deals or NIL, you know it stands for name, image, and likeness. College players can now get this type of deal. Anyway, it's good that the players can now get this, you know, because they can make a few bucks, you know, while in school and don't have to worry about being suspended for a week, 2 or 6 weeks, or, you know, all of the dumb kind of penalties that used to come with them making any kind of money prior to these
and
things.
affect them going pro.
Correct.
And
Like
so
you get a strike against you for making money to where the next level, the only thing that matters is the money. How's that for irony?
yeah, I mean, somebody said something in the chat about what was it about the inbreeding, and that's something that throughout all these different elites that used to go on. And I read in the thread they try to say, well, you know, that was just common practices. A lot of people used to do that. No, a lot of wealthier people in those societies did that. Not everybody did that. Think about it. Who the hell had money to just be committing family members to some hospital and be paying for it to keep them out of sight and out of mind? You already had to have a certain amount of money to do that. Because I already start thinking, well, even if that was the thinking of any of my ancestors, they would have never had the money to do something like that. So,
correct.
I mean, I want to tie some of this back together with, you know, the colonialism, which Great Britain is a huge part of. We're going to show just a little bit real quick. Let me throw this on the screen to kick some things off. Right here it says, British policemen stand guard over men from the village of Kariobangi, northeast Nairobi, while their huts are searched for evidence that they participated in the Mau Mau rebellion, Corpus 1953. Estimated death toll in the conflict was can't talk. In the estimated death toll in the conflict have been as high as 100,000. And so this is something which, you know, I'm pretty sure, let me do the math. I'm pretty sure this is something that was, she could have done something about this or said something about this. There are many issues. Let me see, what was that? Let me pull up my list that Hamza sent me. Because it was a list of tragedies that.
Well, you know, the best way to keep all the bread is, as you know, Baba Yaga says, you know what I mean, keep it in the family. So,
yep.
You know, your son gets married to his cousin and vice versa. Yep. That's why, you know, if you reference the video that we did, what was that, last year at some point? I don't remember when. But, you know, we did a video on the carnage caused by the United Kingdom, Britain, whatever you want to call them. You know, that's just what they do. They destroy all the outsiders. They practice incest. They look retarded. I don't give a fuck if people are offended by that word, but they do. If you just look at the goddamn pictures, Marcus, we've shown that here too. They look fucking retarded. But that's what happens when you come from a bloodline of people who sleep with their cousins and daughters and brothers and, you know, the rest of it.
I mean, like, people wonder, like, when they see shows like, I'm trying to think, like Game of Thrones, for instance. They see shows like Vikings when they're showing the royalty. You see the Borgias, and you see this person's marrying a cousin, and this person's marrying a sister, and this person's marrying an uncle. And they don't put that in the shows because it was a one-off. They put that in the shows because that was something that happened often. I mean, I don't even think a lot of people realize where Blue Eyes comes from. Blue Eyes literally comes from inbreeding. That's like a genetic fact. But looking at this list, yes, this is a year after her coronation. So I mean, you got the Mau Mau uprising. I can't even pronounce all of these places, but I'm going to try to do my best. Hamza will probably be better pronouncing some of these than myself, but I will try. Jebel Akhdar War in Oman, 1954 to 59. Cyprus Emergency, 1955 to 59. Suez Crisis in Egypt. I can't remember that one. Well, not like I was alive or anything. 1956 to 57. Border Campaign, Ireland, 1956 to 62. First Cod War, Iceland, 1958 to 1961. Upper Jaffa disturbances in Yemen, 1959. Darfur Rebellion, Oman, 1962 to 1975. Indonesia, Malaysia confrontation, Borneo, 1963 to 1966. Aden Emergency, Yemen, 1963 to 1967. The Troubles, Ireland, 1968 to 1998. Second Cod War, Iceland, 1972 to 73.
And you know what, Marcus, real quick, pause real
Yeah.
fast. You
Yeah.
know, during that time, no, there was no mention of Vietnam either, right? As if they were just observers of, that particular moment in history. But we know, given what their business is, what their model is, who their bloodlines are, we know their hands, feet, and ass is knee deep in Vietnam as well.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't known that they sent, and I'm trying to remember how many ground troops exactly that they sent, but I know that they actually sent, there's plenty of MI6 that was there. So that's not often factored in either. I see Ruby Krill is here. Hello, Ruby says, hello, everyone. I've been in Boulder, Colorado. Wow, blue eyes from inbreeding. Didn't know that. Yes, look it up. A lot of people don't know that. And so what happened is, so-called over the time, because there were plenty of people who were in power who did have these same blue eyes, they started to, propagandize or reform this into being a standard of beauty. That's the reason how, you start having stick figure like models being the standard of beauty also. I mean, it was even said that back in those days, they would want certain slaves that were more paler skinned because that showed that they worked in the house and different things like this. So it gets interesting when you start digging back into stuff. Is this there? And also the pic with her and Hitler. No, I didn't see that one there. I see Myra's mama is here. Hello. Let's see, traces to Baltics. Well, the thing which a lot of people don't factor in, like, remember last week we talked about how I brought up how if you look back into most of these wars, two people are right in the heart of it. People of German descent and people of Russian descent. The Habsburgs, which the Queen comes from, is a descendant of German descent. Well, also, and some people, I don't know how factual this is. I have to be able to look it up, but I believe she's also like the great, I don't know if it's two greats, maybe it's just great granddaughter of Muhammad from Islam. And so it gets interesting when you start looking these things up and digging into it. Like, what did I just read? But it's been a while since I looked at it, so don't quote me on it, but I say just look it up. Look and see if there's any ties that you'll see, because it was some newspaper. I don't know how valued or trusted this source is, but because it's a European source, but they did talk about that. But if you were born deformed, you were hidden away. In fact, a lot of places, you go back far enough, you weren't only hidden away if you were deformed, you were outright just killed. Like, you came out deformed, they just killed a baby. Let's see. Denver over there says not enough genetic diversity creates genetic problems for them. That's also which goes into it might even be the Habsburg also, where it talks about them having a specific chin. And so the royal family, you look through them, there's all kind of not only physical ailments, but it's all kinds of mental disabilities. insanity. What is it? Blood. What is it? Different blood conditions, which have come about. You know, like having a really thin blood, and I believe sickle cell, and there's so much stuff. Oh, Hamza says yes, she is related to Prophet Muhammad, and so it always cracks me up when I hear Nation of Islam people pushing really hard on the Muhammad, and I'm like, you do realize Muhammad is basically a white man who comes out of Europe, who kind of whatever. Never mind. That's right. I'm not trying to piss off any Islam brothers, but I'm just gonna tell y'all, if you follow my Hebrew Israelite channel, be prepared. I got a couple of clips that I'm gonna be uploading. One I'm just gonna flat out upload. I'll let y'all go through it. The other one I'm going to be commenting on, and I want to say, come get your boy on this one, because this dude sounds batshit crazy, and you
were recording my conversation.
This dude sounds crazy. I mean, he was saying, like, he was literally. I'm gonna give y'all a little clip of it, you know, because this is a little sidebar, and we'll get back on the topic. But dude, like, they tried to read like Genesis 25 and talking about the two nations in the belly, and what was it? Farrakhan literally said like the vagina, and it had the two bellies represent the testicles inside the vagina. I was like, what is this dude talking about? Yeah, it started getting crazy. And so you remember Don't Be a Menace, when old boy was talking about one fish, two fish.
Oh yeah,
red fish, blue fish.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I just saw Ruby's comment. That shit made me laugh.
That's why I'm like, these dudes. Which one? Payback the starter. I miss. Let me go back and see it. It sure does feel like home on this show. I agree. My fave, dropping knowledge always look like. Oh yeah, I'm glad it feels like home. That's good, because that's how I wanted to be. Is the same as if I was inviting everybody over. You know, what we used to call a BPP, back porch party, and you know, I got a bonfire kicked up. Of course, I can't do that out here in California, but when I was in Florida, you know, we had the bonfire going in the backyard. We go out there, just have some drinks, party. You know, if smoking was your thing, that's what you were doing. Drinking's your thing, and we ain't got to worry about club closing in no certain time. You ain't got to worry about dressing up. Just good time with good folks. So yeah, that's why Hamza said that's why they say Elijah is the prophet for Black Muslims. Dude, I listened to a dude say I can't remember if it was Elijah Muhammad, or if he said it was Farrakhan, that he is the Christ. I'm like, what? What are y'all? Come on, bro. It's fine if people want to make up their own religions. It's perfectly fine. Correct. But don't go take another book and then try to make it say some stuff that it don't say. Like I heard this dude say, like, Rebecca in the Bible, that Rebecca actually comes from the Ra. The Ra is back to Ra, which means God, and Becca that's referencing Mecca. So that's referencing the God of Mecca. I'm sorry for going off into a little side note, but yeah, it's been on my mind because I've been going through a lot of this stuff. So it gets kind of funny hearing some of this dude, like, he literally just sounded like a flat out cult member. It's like he tried to give an explanation of something, and then it didn't match up with what Farrakhan was going to say. And so he basically went back and tried to clean up what Farrakhan was saying, even though it didn't make no damn sense. But back onto these wicked ass royals.
Are you gonna miss her? Did you cry? Did you weep when you got the words that Queen Elizabeth passed away? Did you cry?
I was like,
did anybody in the audience cry? Did any of you weep? Did any of you get on your knees and say a prayer for her?
I really felt like it's kind of weird, but my mindset is like, it's surprising this old bat been around this long. I mean, it's like, damn, wasn't you supposed to die like 10 years ago or something?
Doug, number one, for the people who are like, well, she died 8 months ago. Who gives a fuck? Like, they had just announced it now. Fine. You knew she was dead 5 months ago, 8 months ago, last year, 5 years ago, whatever it was. Look, the world as a collective thinks she died September 7th or 8th, whatever that was. So you can hold on to your.
Well, that's what Hamza was saying.
Yeah, correct. And the thing about it is, like, because I've seen that before. I think I was seeing it from last year, you know, that she had actually died. And, you know, and then I've seen like our boy Larry Johnson say, you know, she was at Balmoral or Balmoral. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but whatever. It was like a word, a sacrifice to the god. What is it? Baal? How you say it?
Baal, you can say Baal or Balal, or they reference it different ways. Or Moloch, or I mean, it's all the same. It's all the same person.
Correct.
Well, same God, just in different. Well, actually, Balal, what that means is Baal. It literally means Lord. So, the Lord they're referencing normally as Lord. So that's what that goes into.
Yeah. So I mean, look, you know, here's the thing. Whether she died 6 years ago, 6 weeks ago, or 6 hours ago, it doesn't really matter. The system remains the same. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the show. And think about how stupid, people from England, they can't really say anything about Americans, right? We pay politicians to shit on us. You pay a royal family that can't even be busy enough to pretend to write laws.
yeah, that's what I was gonna respond. Like what Myra's mom. I can reassure you one thing. Her comment. Let's read it. Or put it up on the screen. It says it literally worried me about what's going to happen next. Supposedly the guy that's the king now is the one that wrote Build Back Better. Him and Klaus Schwab. Well, here's the thing. He didn't write anything. Those guys basically a lot of times don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They really are just like pampered princesses for the most part. And everything they do is ceremonially. Now, do they sit on councils at the highest of the highest and kind of, give rubber stamp approvals to the people who are hired? It's kind of like, if I already know Chris is going to side with me and I put a decree out for like a whole group or committee, and then you can always count that, okay, Chris is gonna vote the way Marcus goes. That's kind of what like the royal family does as far as getting into the World Economic Forum and getting into any of those things. They're gonna rubber stamp whatever the plan is because they're literally a part of the plan. I mean, we saw that back to that picture, they literally had the Masonic symbol on it. WEF, Masonic symbols, Illuminati. I'm surprised which I'll probably say it 3 times and he'll pop up. Jesuit. You guys know who I'm talking about. But that all of that is all tied in, and they're just different arms. Oh no, that's right. I said the wrong code word. Knights of Malta. But and thank you, Denver. Denver said sickle cell anemia, which exactly. That's some of the. I mean, literally, they have put certain diseases into the world because of all their inbreeding and stuff. But yeah, these royal families at this point don't really run anything. Does he have the power to say, you know what, I'm gonna enact my power as a king and I'm gonna put down a decree or a word? He does, but if he did that, that'd be the last one he does. because what they will do, all those lawmakers will get together and they'll say, "Hey, it's time to push this whole monarchy thing out the window. We don't need this shit anymore." The same thing which happened in Rome with the Caesar. You know, when Caesar started going against the Senate, you know that old phrase "et tu, Brutus"? Yeah, you know, YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. You know, I'm not saying that they would literally kill him, but they're gonna be like, okay, you got that one, but we are stripping your power away. So legislatively, you know, kill the king, possibly. I don't know. They could even get a little extra funky with it. I don't know. I mean, I don't put shit past these people, and they're really good at making. In my opinion, in my theory, I believe that they're really good at making things look like accidents. Because when you hear certain high level people, all of a sudden they died in plane crashes, and they were known to be excellent pilots, and they were completely sober, and you know there was perfect storm. I mean, perfect weather, and all of a sudden that day they just completely forgot how to do everything and crashed into the side of a mountain, and there were no mechanical issues. You got to start kind of questioning some of these things.
You do.
Bankers,
I mean,
well, Jira, you're close. You're so close there. You see Jira's comment?
Bankers are new royals. No, they've already been royalty, just in a different, you know, maybe just in a different sense of the word. But they were already royalty. They already treated like royalty. I mean, Marcus, you bring up JP Morgan all the time. Didn't he lend the United States government money to stay afloat because they ran out of cash? One guy literally said to a country of, I mean, back in that day, it wasn't $300 million, 300 million people, right? It was a lot less, but just still, one person to the government.
Okay, at that time, maybe maybe 40 million people?
Yeah, let's just say, right? I don't know a number, so I'm not going to pretend, you know, otherwise. But just one dude was able to say, "Oh, you need that? Yeah, take that." You know.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying, Jared, is like, believe it or not, they've always been royalty. What it is, I don't know how many people are really familiar with how these royal families get down. I would say to get a good understanding, to kind of understand some of this stuff, is like the Tudors, for instance. Anybody out there in the audience watch the Tudors? Chris, you familiar with the Tudors? Well, you know how you would have the king, and then you would have dukes, and then you would have earls, and then you would have all these different other people who
Like
they
playing
weren't the
cards.
king.
You got your ace, king, jack, queen.
Exactly. They're still royalty, or they might not be the king, but they're still a lesser house. That's what most of these people are. And if you go back to the banking cartels and the actual Illuminati, a lot of these people, they made a big chunk of their money through the why am I always forgetting what it's called? The what is it that goes from it sits right on that border, right above the so-called Middle East, coming out of Europe and going into Asia. Help me with it if you guys can remember what I'm talking about. Silk Road. A lot of them sat right on the edge of that and made a lot of money off of that Silk Road. And then from there, they were able to transfer that money into Western Europe, and then setting up the original banking systems. I mean, think about it. If you were the one who came with the idea of setting up banks, how much money would you have? And that's the thing. I mean, and this relates back to Game of Thrones. I like to throw out all the time. Think about it. Whether it was the Baratheons, the Lannisters, it didn't matter who it was. The Iron Bank is the one who really controls and decides things. Exactly, Jira. The Tudors, Habsburgs, Medici. And in that time, you had an extra fold or wrinkle into what? Actually, you didn't have an extra fold. It's still the same fold or wrinkle. throw in the Roman Catholic Church and the popes. And that was the overarching system. The only thing now is that overarching system of the popes and all that is kind of diminished, as in calling the shots, and the bank is taken over for what the Roman Catholic Church, because at that time the Roman Catholic Church was the big bank. They were the one who were lending the money to the different, people. So that's kind of like that tie to the Iron Bank that you had in Game of Thrones, because the Roman Catholic Church was doing that. And then what happened is, with all these different wars, even when the Knights Templar, when the Knights Templar and all them, they start funding the pilgrims back and forth into the Holy Land. They start fighting the war with Islam, and they end up losing the Holy Land. When they lost that costed them a lot of money. And then the Knights Templar, they start loaning them money, but the Knights Templar didn't give them all. And then that's when you had not only the Knights Templar loaning them money, then you start having these wealthy families that created the banking that control these trade routes that were loaning the crown and the Vatican and places like that money to keep them afloat. Those same people had markers with all of these different people around the world, and that's who's sitting behind everything, really making these laws and rules. I mean, think about it. How powerful are you if you can have a whole nation given to you? In history, can anybody name the last time outside of 1948 that a country was given to one person who's not royalty? I mean, hey, throw it out there. I'll wait. See, Canada has a new. Hey, Thomas is in there. Thomas,
what's good, man? Exactly, Thomas.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's why Kia earlier was like down with the monarchy, because they're over you too. But Thomas, I want to talk to you about some stuff. It's like, so reach out to me, brother, please. Even if it's just to have a discussion about a couple of things, and also it's something that I feel we both have an axe to grind against, which I would like to have you, because I was trying to reach out to your cousin to have you look into some of this stuff. And I don't know if you still do content, but this is something that I would want to hand off to you for you to vet. But yeah, reach out to me, brother. Corona Ursa says, are there any powerful Chinese and Russian people part of that group? Well, here's the thing. They used to be. And that's where all this feuding is coming from. When they had that breakup between Russia and China, and you go back to the Romanovs being killed off, that's when that wedge was like completely cemented. There was no kind of being cool again. Back to when China had been decimated as an empire because they didn't keep up.
No, Steve, he has not shown up here.
No, I mean, thank goodness. I mean, I'm like, I just want to do my show in peace, man. But let's see. And I don't know, if somebody talked to him and reasoned with him, then I much appreciation to you. God bless you. But
no, he hasn't shown up here, because I seen he asked. It looked like he was asking legitimate questions. So.
Yeah. Well, he came onto my interview, and he said a couple of things. I just ignored him and kept it moving. But with China, because they kind of got pushed out, and their power got mitigated, China is kind of been subservient to the New World Order in a sense. And they've kind of been biding their time with, okay, when we get strong again, we find an opportunity, we're going to separate from being up under them. And so now that Russia has been rebuilding and getting itself stronger, now Now China's like, okay, we gotta now we can click up with them, even though we don't like them. We can click up with them to go against, you know, the Western powers. And so, yeah, China and Russia are not really with them. I know a lot of people will see, oh, well, they have all of these different things and the whole the surveillance state and all these different things. Yes, they have that in common because all of these governments want to control their people to every little, you know, millisecond, to every little thing they do. But they would like to do it independently. That's the only real difference. Right or wrong, Chris? What do you say?
It really is the only difference. I mean, again, you hitting the nail right on the head. There's not much for me to expound upon after that. I mean, you got it. And I think most of the people who are watching this program, they understand it as well, you know. It's all part of the system. You know, I'm just going through the comments, reading who had one. Corona said something more like stolen, not given. Starlink digital currency. Oh, okay. Well, Street said I wanted to address this one. Street said everyone has an opinion, but honestly, we don't know who is actually behind you know, the curtain of Oz. Streets, we may not know like it's John Smith of whatever, but we can follow the money enough from these organizations to figure out who is who, and you know, we can get close enough. We can narrow it down. We can narrow it down for sure.
I would say you don't go from being the wealthiest family in the world to all of a sudden not being the wealthiest family in the world when everybody goes through banking and you founded banking. So I don't even think like we can't figure it out. I think it's pretty obvious who it is. And now I remember before they were talking about all of these Saudi princes and oh well they have 1 trillion or 4 trillion and they're saying all these people are trillionaires. I'm like, but yeah, but who are they running? Who are they running those trillions of dollars? What banks are they running their money through? So if they have that much, that's like saying, you know what, this player has, you know, a huge contract and he's worth $1 billion. Okay, well, how much is the owner of the team worth? That's it. That's the comparison which I would throw out there to these bankers. If you got people who are putting trillions of dollars in your bank, then how much do you have owning that bank? I wanted to hop over to some of these comments on Rockfin. Denver has some good stuff here. Says Queen's last big event, birthday or whatnot, she was a hologram. That's the same thing that Hamza was saying, which I have to look more into that. They say she was a hologram. It would not be in attendance. So they say she died on Thursday, September the 7th, 2022. Corona pandemic declared globally on March 11, 2020. That's exactly 911 days apart. How about that shit? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Says networking. And yes, thank you. Was saying Silk Road. And we have, I see Don Pavito, which is in on the Rockfin side. Cool, good to see you. China holds the dominant position in the world affairs right now, non-military affairs anyway. Well, I feel like whenever you have the biggest stick in the yard, that does command some respect. But if you haven't used it yet, it makes people kind of still think it's kind of like if you've been the big bully and you've been able to bully everybody for so long, and now you know this kid that you used to bully, they've gotten tougher, and now they're mouthing back to you, but you guys haven't really threw hands yet. You don't really respect them the same way, and that's what I feel like is with the West. They don't respect China still because they're like, man, they can't do shit. Y'all are talking a lot of mess. Hold on 1 second. Oh, take it for a minute, Chris.
No, Marcus, the people coming for you? I hope not, man. No, let's all of us say a prayer for Marcus real quick. You know, make sure he's all right, because you know he don't never do that. But anyway, I mean, you know, it is what it is as it relates to the royal family. whether it is Queen Elizabeth or King Asshole or King Dingaling, whatever it is, they'll forever, they'll forever get money from the people of England. I mean, they look real dumb. I mean, it really, especially now, because maybe it slips your mind sometimes, but it's like, okay, this is being put front and center, right? This woman died, the queen died, who's going to take over, et cetera, et cetera. These people have so much money and so on and so forth. How they get this money? Da, 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 da. We have a government, right? Who are these people? And that they pay money to. They don't even question it. They're not even going to their government to say, yo, you know what? You shouldn't be taking any of our money and giving it to these people so that they can live how they do, right? No, they don't. So I could tell those people they're not really tough at all.
Yeah, I wanted to throw in down in the back. I see a comment from Andy Pants says bankers have visibility of who's making transactions to who. Seems like an advantage. That reminds me of something. And please, everybody in the chat who's listening to my voice, whether it is on Twitter, whether it is on YouTube, Rockfan, or I've seen that somebody actually records some of my episodes and then puts them on Reddit. Wherever you're hearing the sound of my voice, hold me to this. Yeah, but I have a video of this one banker, high-level banker, and he was explaining how he can see all these monetary ties. He's like, I can literally see that money is going to this person, and then something happens, and I can see money goes over here for that. And he's like, I can see who's moving things. Now, he wouldn't go any further than saying that. Like, he wouldn't say who's moving what, but he would say that, yeah, you can see literally what's going on. You can see, okay, this money gets transferred into here. Okay, let me throw out a couple of examples, for instance. Like, okay, you see this money comes from, say, Upper East Side in New York. Money comes out of there. It goes to a bank in the UAE. It goes from the UAE to someplace in the outskirts of Pakistan. Then there's a money transfer from Pakistan into Afghanistan. And then all of a sudden, there's a weapons shipment that's shipped from Saudi Arabia to Afghanistan. And it was like, he's like, I could literally see and track all of these movements. I can see what's going on. I can see that, yes, this is somebody who is literally out of like Virginia or New York or this place who is literally funding the same terrorists, which they say we need money to stop these same terrorists. I mean, he was able to see.
You mean we're funding the people who they're telling us to be afraid of?
Ding, ding, ding. And that also reminds me of something Hamza sent me. It's a little off topic, so I'll hold it, but or I'll just mention it. What was it? Reza Islam was basically bringing up how, like, the CIA, how they basically admit, like, how they created, Al Qaeda and all these different organizations. And then when they're like, and then when he calls them out on it, like, hey, let's change subject. Let's not talk about that. I mean, if we listen enough, they tell you what they're doing, because at this point, they know for a fact there's nothing you can do. That's like, I mean, and I've been hearing a lot of people, they've been going on about this different election stuff and that. And in some of these other countries, yes, you can have actual possibly fair elections to get somebody to power. Now, when that person gets to power, what kind of screws are being put on them from the outside? Whether it be, okay, here, you take some money and you don't do what you say you were going to do, or we send in somebody to try to coup your government, or we try to say that you're doing something fraudulently to try to throw you out of power. I mean, the only difference here is they just don't allow the elections to be fair for you to get the people in power, regardless of what. So I don't care about Republican, Democrat, third party. You're not getting anything. The closest, like I said in the
Marcus, give
in
me
that
2
little
seconds.
short video. Yeah, like I said in that short video, I said Ross Perot was the last one they let get that close. Ross Perot was like had enough where he was like close to a really, really deciding factor in that election. And if it wasn't for the fact that he was already a self-funded billionaire who was able to, and that was before I think they really took it serious that a third party could break in and possibly get, in, they're like, nah, we can't let that happen again. Mad Marxist says, breaking, His Majesty King Charles III is ordained as Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Yeah, their church looks spooky. I get that. Oh, because, man, Mr. Streets, if you look up some of the history on a lot of that area, and I'm talking about going back to when it went from Britons and like actual Anglo-Saxons into UK, what it is now, it's been a lot of people massacred and slaughtered. And like you can see up underground in certain areas where you could see like it were whole cities that were like just built over, like cathedrals where this was a church and then they just built another church right on top of it. And so when you build on top of other people's bones, I mean, that's kind of like the theme of Poltergeist. Just imagine if for practically a whole nation is like that. So I mean, it is some eerie stuff. And I've been to England, and I've been to well, not inside, of course, but I've been to Buckingham Palace and Trafalgar Square and seen Big Ben and all that, and it is a creepy vibe just in Europe in general, especially when it's really late at night. Let me double check over onto the Rock Fins. See what we got here. Denver says the West is batshit mad crazy. China has an army of tens of millions. Exactly. No force can match the manpower. Furthermore, we've been building a lot of our tech, including military overseas, makes it real easy for the savvy reverse engineer co-op diverse defense for a plan ahead on the DL. Also, what if they have backdoor? What if they have backdoor systems where they literally can go in and just start shutting down the very equipment which they had manufactured over there? It might not. They might be like, well, we're not going to let them touch the main stuff. But what about if it's some kind of backdoor which is in a circuit or something? I mean, part of the thing that I learned to do on certain things in the military is you had to troubleshoot, certain equipment. If you're in the middle of a war and you got to troubleshoot something, that's a huge problem to have. And that there's so many components which are made outside of this country, even if it's not made in China per se, if it's made in Vietnam, if it's made in India, it's made in all these other places. Bangladesh, I mean, you have the possibility that it can be tampered with and interfered, and you will not know until you need it, The Ethereum merge and overhaul might be the co-opting XRP Ripple Tech. Both are WEF members, and XRP already facilitates money transfers throughout the world between institutions. I agree. There's just a lot of stuff which people don't factor in. I guess I was going in the same place where Denver was going, but there's just a lot that's not thought about, and it's because if, like I said before, that schoolyard analogy, if you don't think this person poses you any threat, you don't get concerned or worried about them doing anything to you. I figure, I need to pull up that one video, right, Chris? Because I feel it's more fitting than ever right now.
Of course it is.
The video that I made sometime back, I originally made this video actually for Hebrew apologetics.
Well, you know what they say, like, you talk about finger on the pulse type shit, like, this is on the pulse type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to the royal family and just England and, the empire and what they have been able to do over, the last several centuries It's quite an accomplishment from their standpoint. If we look at it, right, they have planted their flag literally across the entire known land that we call Earth. All of the places that we know of, anyway, have seen that flag at least in some shape or form.
Yeah, I mean, and of course,
Or
you guys
some
are going to be
relative of it.
you guys are going to be familiar with this video, some of you all, because I have shared this video before. I just feel like it can't be understated enough what's in this video. So let me put this on the screen. Let me read a couple more comments. Jira says, I wish all the ghosts of the past would rise up and drive all the rich insane, and they'd have to abdicate their power and wealth to survive. Well, think about it this way. There have been studies that show that trauma is passed down. And it can be passed down over and over and over. So if you have trauma that's passed down, imagine if you stole something and got away with it. Wouldn't you be paranoid? I mean, think about people who are always accusing the other person of cheating when they know they're the one cheating. It's that same kind of thing.
Exactly.
If you got that guilt floating around in the back of your head,
you're always going to assume that somebody else is doing something that you don't like, or something similar to you, and that's what drives people to act the way they do, because they think like that.
Denver over here says the back doors are a real thing. I that's the reason why I feel like China and these other nations are so confident, because they're like, yo, and what's the old saying? If you go for the king, you better not miss. China sits there and plans out their moves 25, 50 years for a reason. They're methodical and patient. And Russia's been like, they've been in the thick of it, fighting the US back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so now they got somebody who knows the tactics through the proxy wars, through the coups, through all the different ways that they manipulate their politicians, to the way they manipulate citizens. Actually, quick side note, and the TikTok that I put up, and which y'all know, it's one of the ones which he commented on a friend of mine. And it's kind of funny to me because I think, like 15 years ago, I would have been him. I was making the same arguments which he makes. Oh, if you had a whole Democratic Congress and the people voted in all the primaries and the midterms, and we got a bunch of Democrats in there, we can get our agenda through. And it's like, bruh, you really believe that? I mean, at this point, that to me, that's like seeing an adult who still believes in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. It's like, at this point, come on, this has to click. What the hell's going on? Mr. Street says yes, they're guilty and living the life suspecting. Why do you think eugenics is a big part of what they want to do? And when they talk, what was it Prince Albert, Chris, that said that he wanted to come back as a virus, and if he could, he'd come back as a virus to kill as many people as possible?
It's possible. No, it wasn't Albert. Wasn't that the current king who said that? Or
no, that was the brother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was because he died years back.
Oh, okay, but one of them said it. They came out of that house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The brother of the current king said that.
Yeah, he said like, hey, I want to be a virus when I come back. He didn't say like, I want to be a lion. I want to be like a silverback gorilla, or I want to be, queen bee or anything like that. Motherfucker said, I want to be a virus. Okay, that tells you the thinking of these people.
Yeah, he
literally. What did Epstein say? He wanted to see.
It's funny you mentioned Epstein.
He wanted to see the whole next generation with his nut. They have delusions of grandeur that are on levels that we would never be able to comprehend. Right? Me personally, as nice it would be to think like, oh, it'd be nice if everyone thought about me. The world is too fucking big to hold such an ignorant thought,
Yeah.
But yet they hold it. Unfortunately for us, they have the means though to actually take their thoughts and implement them, and to get all of us to react in a certain fucking way. So, it's just something we should keep an eye on. What did Street say? When I saw Jay-Z giving a free concert, yo, Street, what up, man? Oh, of course. When we saw Jay and Beyonce for Shillery, Killery, whatever you want to call her, you knew something was up, and nobody went to any of those concerts either. Charles descended from a long line of troglodytes and cave people. Yeah, it's a fact, Nisha.
And Angelica, she was second in my comment. She said epigenetic, generational trauma passing along at the cellular level.
Absolutely.
What was it? I watched this on AM Wake Up, a study which they did. I think it was with mice, where they put like some cheese at the top of a ladder, and like they would like smack the one down who got up to the top, and or no, squirt water on them or something. I can't remember what it was. They did something to the one that got or no, when one got to the top, they would knock him down, and then they would like spray something on all the other ones. And so what would happen is eventually they would start attacking the one that would keep climbing up. And so it got to the point where none of them would climb up. And then they would take one of them out, put a new one in there who hadn't went through any of that. And then they would try to climb up, and the other rats would like attack them. And then eventually it got to a point where they kept doing that with all of them. And even the ones who didn't climb up the ladder at all, never experienced whatever happened, they all were like, no, don't climb up that ladder. They just knew better. It's the same thing when you go back into slavery. Some of them might not have actually gotten whipped, or actually, let's not go. We don't even have to go back that far. You can literally talk to some black people in the South, and they're scared to go to certain white neighborhoods because of what's happened in the past.
Correct.
Like, no. That used to be a sundown town. We don't go over there.
No, that was, look, you say that then. That was us in New York in the 90s. Like, I knew there was certain neighborhoods it was just wise for me to stay out of. I probably would have gave the business to 1, 2, or 3 of them, me and my friends. But at the end of the day, even if you get them the business, you know what that means afterwards. The police are coming.
Yeah.
So you lose anyway.
Or even it might even been a place where nothing would have happened to you. You might have went there and not a damn thing happened. But because of what's happened so much over the years, you wasn't even chancing that. And that trauma is in there. It said, except Jesse Lee Peterson. I honestly, Jesse Lee Peterson, I think that dude's a straight op. That dude
he gets a check.
That dude's getting a check. He knows what he's saying is complete bullshit. And he does it. I wanted to bring up Denver's comment because Denver was right on line. I don't know. It's like Denver is like right here with us tonight, like really, like almost like like we got some mental link going on between the three of us.
What's up, man? I hope all is good.
Denver said Robert Maxwell, the triple agent, the father of Ghislaine, question mark. His lawyer of all people raised Anthony Blinken is the whole Biden administration and bunch of foreign spies and double agents. I think it's literally some of them are. Exactamente. That's what I'm talking about. Blinken spent much of his youth in Europe, Italy, I believe.
You know what's funny? We call them like double agents and shit like that. And, I fully agree with what Denver said. But at the end of the day, we have to stop looking at it as if they're double agents. They've been loyal to their team from the start. They never have lost loyalty to the side they're on. They just have us gassed in thinking that they're anti-us or anti-whatever. No, they pro themselves. And if that means screwing us all over, so be it.
Yeah, Chris, since you love sports, I'm going to give you a sports reference to remember. You remember the old movie Blue Chip?
With Shaq and Penny?
Yeah, with Shaq and Penny, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how the old boy was shaving the points?
Oh, yeah.
And Nick Nolte could not believe, like, no way he was doing that. And he went back and he started seeing, and he was like, he really was point shaving. And he went to him and called out the player, and he's like, what do you expect me to do, coach? is he admitted that he was cheating.
Correct. Oh, Marcus, do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
You should watch that Untold series that they have. Did you watch the one on not did you? You should watch the one on Tim Donaghy. It's about the NBA it's about the NBA referee who was,
Oh yeah, the betting one. Yeah, I remember him.
You should watch the whole thing. What happened was basically the feds were watching the mob and they kept seeing these financial transactions and they didn't know where it was coming from, but over time and phone taps, etc., they were making millions and millions and millions off of Tim Donaghy without even having to apply pressure on him.
Yep.
It was a very interesting thing. Streets, did you watch it?
Denver says he remembers it. Yeah. That movie still goes hard to this day, though. So,
yeah, it does.
For anybody who haven't watched it and you're looking for an entertaining movie, go on and go check that out. And since it is football season, as you guys can see, I'm repping my team. Another great football movie. The NFL got pissed off about Any Given Sunday, right? You remember that?
Oh, with Jamie Foxx, Willie Bean.
They did not like that.
Keep the girls.
Steaming Willie Bean.
Yep.
You ain't got somebody else breaking in again, do you?
No, not tonight. No. Yeah, open it.
And so and the other one I can't remember. Oh, ESPN Playmakers. That's another movie. If you can find it, I remember it was hard to find.
I'll be right there, Marcus. Hold on, I'll be right back.
What the hell? Some random person calling me. I don't even know where that. Okay, whatever. I'm supposed to have my phone on silent anyway, so sorry about that. But let's get into this clip. I know some of y'all have already saw
I forgot they food. Was it delivery dudes or whatever it is? Some food.
Yeah, I know some of y'all have already saw this clip, but let's go ahead and put it back on and show it one more again because it's so fitting that even though some people up there boo-hooing like, screw these people. I mean, it's going to be the old boss. The new boss is the same as the old boss. So that's what we got going on. That the party's still going to keep going. Queen dies, king rises, same thing. It's kind of like what happened when Joffrey passed in Game of Thrones and then Cersei took over. Basically was no change. It was the same shit. Let's see, there it is. So yeah, this video from Hebrew Apologetics. I guess I'll just start it here. It's called the Indo-Europeans Volume 4.
Good chunk of the past few centuries, this music was the final boss music played for people across the entire world. The English and later the British have been responsible for invading and conquering more countries and people than any other nation in human history. And honestly, it's startling just how many places they've been to. In this video, I'm going to do my best at attempting to visualize all of Britain's invasions and conquests.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yes, exactly.
Europe. Ireland was the first target of British conquest and was invaded as early as 1179. In 400 years of gradual conquests, the entire island was ruled by the British and remained that way until most of it was granted independence in 1921. Historically, France has probably been invaded by the English more times than any other country in the world. Just take a look at this huge list of invasions. There's not even enough time to talk about a third of these, and for a time, all of this territory inside of modern France was directly controlled by the English, with Calais being the final piece that fell in 1557. Well, except for that time when the British took over Corsica for a couple years. The British continued to invade Spain by the millions every winter, but in the past, they've come with a lot less friendly intentions. English and later British soldiers invaded under the Black Prince in 1367 and continued on through the first, second, third, and fourth raids on Cadiz and that time when the British took over Gibraltar and Minorca. They gave Minorca back, but decided on keeping Gibraltar forever. In recent history, the British have invaded Belgium in order to support the Belgians. But that wasn't always the case. They conducted two pretty large-scale invasions of modern-day Belgium in 1654 and again in 1701. And Flanders itself was ruled by the English for a few years in the 14th century. The Netherlands was one of England's historical arch rivals, and so there's been plenty of invasions going in this direction across the 17th and 18th centuries. In 1940, the British technically invaded and took over Iceland, taking fully into the hands of the Germans. But this was heavily protested by the Icelandic government at the time, so in my books, it still counts as an invasion. Italy, of course, was invaded by the British Army during the Second World War as well in 1943, but there were plenty of invasions before then, dating back to Richard the Lionheart's invasion in 1190. Germany, too, was obviously invaded by the British Army in 1945, and northwestern Germany was occupied by the British for 3 years until 1948. But a lot of German territory was ruled by Britain long before then. The islands of Heligoland were British for most of the 19th century, and the Kingdom of Hanover was effectively ruled under a personal union for over a century between 1714 and 1837. Austria was also invaded.
Can you turn it up, Marcus? The volume?
For a decade.
No, it's as high as
was
I had it.
invaded in 1810 and 1812 during the Napoleonic Wars when it was a part of Denmark-Norway because Denmark was aligned to France. So obviously Denmark was invaded during that time as well. Finland.
Actually, you know what? Hold on one second. I can go and try to see if I can find the original. I can try to see if I can find the original video real quick.
I was going to say, but basically, to those who couldn't hear it, the video is basically documenting all of the places that the empire of that we know as England has been all over the world.
Yeah,
and there's not many places they haven't planted their flag. And you know, if you really want to keep it real, like our flag is an extension of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, however you want to look at it, it really is an extension of theirs.
Because a lot of the founders of this nation are...
Wait, Russia's pulling out of Ukraine? Is that for real? Marcus, is what Street saying like that's official?
Let's look it up and see.
I didn't know. I told you I try not to pay attention anymore because
I haven't heard that at all.
Yeah, it's too mind-numbing.
Let's see what's being.
You know, it's kind of like that scene in Braveheart. You know, it's one of my favorite movies. Remember when he gets caught for the final time and he's about to be executed, and the princess goes in there to give him the poison so he can, or whatever she was going to give him so he can numb himself. And he said, you know, basically, no, I don't need that. I want to keep my wits about me. It's pretty much how it is with the news these days. I avoid it so I can keep my wits about me, because the more you get into it, the more useless information you're filled with, because you know it's all narrative and lies.
Well, what I'm seeing here, this is from CNN, which, yeah, I don't know how much you can trust that. It says Russia war in Ukraine, September 10th, 2022. Ukrainian forces have entered the strategic city of Izium after forcing Russian troops to retreat, an officer involved in the operation told. What it looks like is maybe certain provinces they are losing control of, possibly, but you got to remember, the sources I'm seeing here: CNN, Reuters, Al Jazeera,
correct,
Daily Mail. I don't know how much I can trust any of this. Like Daily Mail says, Russia admits it's retreating as their line collapses, and Ukrainian offensive makes stunning gains. This was 9 hours ago. Let's see. Let's click on the Daily Mail. It says Russian lines are crumbling as Ukraine makes huge advances in the east. Get off my screen. Let's see. The Russian
To the
lines in
ex-
the east,
look,
east
to
of
the
Ukraine are
extent that
crumbling.
Russia, look, to the extent that Russia is pulling troops out of Ukraine, it probably means like, okay, we did what we had to do. We can pull these people back. There's no need for them to be
Yeah,
there.
I don't buy
Yeah.
the fact that they're just I don't buy the fact that they're just, oh well, Ukrainians are just beating them back. And no, I just read another thing that said a couple of hours before that they're telling Ukrainians that that they should all evacuate this area. So I don't know which one of those is true.
You know, but thinking about England, right? And it is worth noting, at least for our history, our collective history here in the United States. It is worth mentioning, though, that in the 18th century, in the 1700s, that they were the ones telling the existing power structure here, yo, you should chill with that slavery shit. Even though they were like knee deep in the shit, they were the ones saying, yo, chill with the slavery shit. And the people who live there, leave them alone past the Mississippi. Do not go past the Mississippi. And it's just ironic that they showed some level of chill, but their offspring was like, nah, nigga.
Sorry, didn't mean to push play yet. But yeah, this is the video.
Stream. Watch all of my videos early and ad-free, or watch my upcoming original series exclusively on Nebula, which you can get access to for $15 a year through the bundle deal at curiositystream.com/real-life-lore. For a good chunk of the past few centuries, this music was the final boss music played for people across the entire world. The English and later the British have been responsible for invading and conquering more countries and people than any other nation in human history. And honestly, it's startling just how many places they've been to. In this video, I'm going to do my best at attempting to visualize all of Britain's invasions and conquests for you, continent by continent, in as brief a time as possible. So let's begin with the closest continent to Britain, Europe. Ireland was the first target of British conquests and was invaded as early as 1169. Within 400 years of gradual conquests, the entire island was ruled by the British and remained that way until most of it was granted independence in 1921. Historically, France has probably been invaded by the English more times than any other country in the world. Just take a look at this huge list of invasions. There's not even enough time to talk about a third of these, and for a time, all of this territory inside of modern France was directly controlled by the English, with Calais being the final piece that fell in 1557. Well, except for that time when the British took over Corsica for a couple years. The British continue to invade Spain by the millions every winter, but in the past, they've come with a lot less friendly intentions. English and later British soldiers invaded under the Black Prince in 1367 and continued on through the first, second, third, and fourth raids on Cadiz, and that time when the British took over Gibraltar and Minorca. They gave Minorca back, but decided on keeping Gibraltar forever. In recent history, the British have invaded Belgium in order to support the Belgians, but that wasn't always the case. They conducted two pretty large-scale invasions of modern-day Belgium in 1654 and again in 1701. And Flanders itself was ruled by the English for a few years in the 14th century. The Netherlands was one of England's historical arch-rivals, and so there's been plenty of invasions going in this direction across the 17th and 18th centuries. In 1940, the British technically invaded and took over Iceland peacefully for a year in order to prevent it from falling into the hands of the Germans. But this was heavily protested by the Icelandic government at the time, so in my books, it still counts as an invasion. Italy, of course, was invaded by the British Army during the Second World War as well in 1943, but there were plenty of invasions before then, dating back to Richard the Lionheart's invasion in 1190. Germany, too, was obviously invaded by the British Army in 1945, and northwestern Germany was occupied by the British for 3 years until 1948. But a lot of German territory was ruled by Britain long before then. The islands of Heligoland were British for most of the 19th century, and the Kingdom of Hanover was effectively ruled under a personal union for over a century between 1714 and 1837. Austria was also invaded in 1945, and the southwest of the country was occupied for a decade. Norway was invaded in 1810 and 1812 during the Napoleonic Wars when it was a part of Denmark-Norway because Denmark was aligned to France, so obviously Denmark was invaded during that time as well. Finland, Estonia, and Latvia were all briefly invaded by small units during the Crimean War against Russia because they were all part of the Russian Empire at the time, and of course, Russia itself was invaded then too. As well as in 1918, when the British took over a large chunk of northern Russia for a time in their fight against the Bolsheviks. The territory of modern Ukraine was invaded by British army units during the Crimean War. The British took over the Croatian island of Vis between 1807 and 1814 during their fight against Napoleon. The British army had boots and guns on the ground in Bosnia recently between 1992 and 95 fighting against the Bosnian Serbs, and around the same time, the RAF also carried out bombing strikes against Serbian Serb targets in Serbia in 1999. Montenegro was briefly blockaded and invaded in 1913 during the First Balkan War. The British owned the westernmost Ionian islands of Greece between 1815 and 1863 before they gave them back, while Bulgaria was invaded and almost entirely occupied by the British Army between 1918 and 1919 at the end of World War I. Cyprus was a British protectorate between 1878 and 1914 when they decided to just outright annex it to piss off the Turks, and it remained annexed until 1960, except for two small chunks that are still British today. Turkey itself was massively invaded by the British during World War I, and part of it was occupied between 1919 and 1923. That wraps up Europe, so let's move on to Asia next. Modern-day Israel and Palestine, as well as Jordan, were British-controlled from the end of World War I to 1948 and 1946, respectively. Lebanon and Syria were both occupied from the Vichy French government briefly during World War II. Iraq was ruled between 1919 and 1932 and invaded again during the Second World War, and again in 1991, and again in 2003. Kuwait was a colony for over 60 years until 1966. Georgia and Azerbaijan were both invaded and occupied right at the end of World War I for a year. Iran has been invaded at least 3 times, with the most notable example being the joint Anglo-Soviet invasion of 1941. Turkmenistan was invaded in 1918 to prevent Bolshevik influence from spreading any further. Afghanistan is a favorite British invasion spot since it's been invaded in 1839, 1878, 1919, and again in 2001. Qatar, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman were all controlled by the British until the early 1970s, while a chunk of Yemen was controlled for over a century between 1839 and 1967. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka were all, of course, invaded many times and outright ruled by the British Empire in parts for nearly 2 centuries between 1757 and 1947. Nepal was invaded in 1814 but never successfully conquered. Bhutan was invaded in 1772 and again in 1864 and was sort of conquered as a protectorate between 1910 and 1948. Burma/Myanmar was invaded in 1826 and was definitely successfully conquered and ruled through 1947. Thailand was briefly invaded in 1945 since they were allied to Japan in World War II, and so was Vietnam in the same year, but that was to support the French government against the growing independence movement. Malaysia and Singapore were each conquered and ruled up until the 1950s and 1960s. Brunei was conquered and ruled up until the 1980s, whereas the Philippines were briefly invaded during the 7 Years' War. China got invaded a lot, and Hong Kong was a colony until as recently as 1997. And while not outright invaded, part of Japan was occupied following World War II between 1946 and 1952. And finally, Indonesia was invaded a bunch during the Napoleonic Wars since it was a Dutch colony aligned to France at the time. Next up, Oceania. Australia and New Zealand, of course, were invaded by the British and established as colonies that each gained independence in 1931. Papua New Guinea was also a British colony for a time, as were the island countries of Fiji, Kiribati, the Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. Let's move back over to Africa next, which the British have violently visited a lot. In terms of just places the British outright colonized after invasions, there's the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Kenya, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa, along with parts of modern-day Somalia and Guinea. Senegal was briefly invaded and had some of their coastline taken over in the 1700s, while during the Second World War, the British invaded the French colonies of Djibouti, Madagascar, and Comoros after they aligned themselves with the Nazi Vichy regime, and the Italian colonies of Libya,
Hey,
Eritrea.
Marcus, pause that real quick.
They had also invaded Ethiopia much earlier in 1868, and as German.
Look, this is crazy because when you look at it, I mean, there's nowhere. Look, the small little island off the southeast coast of the continent, they even went there.
That's what I'm saying. It was like nowhere. I don't think people like get the gravity to how we got a place that's literally like this big compared to the rest of the world. It's like tiny compared to the rest of the world, and they literally went everywhere. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Oh shoot! Wait a minute. Let me check that. Somebody say the stream got suspended. Let me check. Oh shoot! Is that true? Oh yeah, it stopped the stream.
Did it? On where? On Rockfin?
Down on YouTube, it's down.
So we're not live?
Let me see. Let me back out and try to come back in. Stream unavailable. Yeah, it dropped the stream. Thanks
Stream
for letting us
unavailable.
know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they literally. That's the reason why I
Stream,
was.
it literally says stream suspended for.
Oh wow. Yeah, they literally. That's the reason why I was.
It literally says. Oh, it just came back on.
Yeah, let's see. Let me back out of there. Yeah, because they did not want us playing that. That's the reason why I was playing it from my other one at first. Because I knew the other one I could get away with playing that one definitely. And here's the thing, you know how many reaction videos it is where somebody is literally showing this the same way we were doing it? Like,
Okay,
oh,
well,
I guess once the queen, I guess because of the queen dying or whatever, they don't want people showing this right now.
Yeah,
I bet that's what it has to do with it. All right.
Okay,
wow.
yeah, it's back on. That was weird because I saw it. I see it on my phone here. That
Yeah, I just went to it on my phone.
Mm-hmm. That was some weird shit.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't want that show. Well, let's see. I can go. I wonder if I could go back into whatchamacallit and show it on my because you guys get the gist of what's going on. Let's drop that one. Let's drop that one. Let's get caught back up to where we're at. And let's change. Okay, so share screen. Yeah, I think they dropped us because we were showing that one.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is on my other channel, and I dare them to try to make them say that I did this. Yeah, I touched a nerve. They don't want people talking about this.
God did this. I'm on my DJ Khaled.
So here we go. So the volume will be a little bit lower, but we'll be able to get the rest of it. Because you see, I shared this on my channel. You know how many videos there is where people are literally showing reactions and they're showing it the same exact way we're doing it, but they'll shut our stream down right in the middle. But let's continue.
Exactly. I'm gonna just scarf this slice of pizza real quick.
Because you don't really need to necessarily hear it all. In fact, I'll put it in the chat where you guys can find this video. Yeah, let me go and get that one right now. And go ahead and put it in the chat for everyone. But because I don't think that it's this channel, the real life channel. I think it's YouTube that did this. So I don't want to be like, oh well, don't go over and go check out their video because no, I don't think they had anything to do with it. I think this is YouTube being little punk ass bitches as usual. And so
that was
there we
them,
go.
like just trying to make sure. And then they looked at it and was like, "Oh no, they ain't doing anything crazy."
Well, no, what it is they don't want us showing that because that's showing literally what the crown is about.
Exactly.
I mean, we see the dates and when this was going on, and the queen, that salty ass queen, was in power when a lot of this shit was happening.
It was for 7 decades.
Well, not a lot of it, but while
Yeah.
some of this shit was happening. Because I mean, this literally goes all the way. 1100? It was showing them. Marcus, you should complain because this is a big enough. Well, here's the thing. I already know what YouTube is about. I know YouTube is about trying to stop real information. If you're really talking about something, they're always going to come against you. If you're a channel where the worst you've ever gotten is maybe a copyright strike after the fact and then nothing really happened, they just say you couldn't be monetized for it, you ain't really doing nothing. You're not really rocking no boats until you be like us, where you start getting strikes where they threaten to take your channel down and destroy everything. So let's hop back into it. And like I said, the volume won't be the greatest on this version, but at least you guys will be able to see what is going on in there. And eventually I'm gonna start doing some, like I said, as we keep growing on Rockfin, I will start doing some of these streams and go into this stuff directly on Rockfin. In fact, let's see where we're at because our numbers, we're growing. I like to give you guys the report to where we are because when it gets to a certain point, I'm going to stop wasting my time with
YouTube.
Yeah, with YouTube. I mean, they're dumb the way they do it. Oh, somebody gave us a tip out there. Much love, much love.
It's extremely obsolete, Mr. Streets. The only freedom of speech you'll have is if you say whatever is, whatever if it has to be in support of the narrative of the ruling party.
Yep.
Or they do allow you to take the posture of their biggest opponent, which is usually dumb shit. It's usually like Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage.
And I see a chat from, the first time in a while that I've seen a Vente Cafe on here. It says, keep up the good work, guys. I love how you guys always include world history, even during ancient time. Thank you. And we will keep on doing it. I feel like, personally, the way you can understand what's going on now is if you understand what was going on before. Because, I mean, it says this in the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun.
Nope.
Literally, like, I know some people would be thinking, well, they didn't have this or that. Do you realize the Bible talks about strip clubs, basically? It literally talks about stripper poles in the Bible. The asterisk pole. Women used to dance around the pole, and men would buy them afterwards as prostitutes. That's in the Bible.
Why do you see
so?
That? Oh,
that's ancient history. You gonna beat that what up? No.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, let's get back.
Marcus, you caught that too. You did good though.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that was like flawless right there.
And then I'll tell you all, if you hang on to the end, for those who watch the Hebrew apologetics, I got approval from a good brother who I really like some of his. I like all his music. And I shared some of it. What was it? Was it last stream or stream before? Anaviel the Servant. You remember that Freddie Flow song I played? And that.
Yeah, what'd you think about your boy Bad Bunny? I meant to ask you about that.
Man, I knew it, man. No comment.
Yo,
that's where we're going.
Yo, hold on. Why everybody I know who like Bad Bunny, when I say to them, "Yo, what's up with y'all? What's up with your mans?" They like, "Oh, no comment. No."
I thought I got by because you didn't bring it up
know.
when it happened, but no
And
comment.
I meant to ask you. So what happened? Why he did that? Just for clout? He like it? What?
I don't know. I mean, I think for clout. I mean, dude, I know he sold out. But
of course.
But I didn't know how far. I don't know how far he was going with the selling out.
But his beats are too fire.
A lot of his music is too fire, but
yeah.
I mean, he lets us know in the music. I mean, one of the perfect songs, the album which he did with J Balvin. It's a lot in that album. I mean, and like the one song "Cuidado por ahí," where that
you find out Marcus is Puerto Rican.
That video, man. I mean, it frustrates me, but to watch our people sell out that bad, and then he always be talking about he showed a video where he opens up his third eye, and I'm like, man,
exactly,
and I'm like, and so I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say.
Yeah, I know. I know you can't now.
Up there, opening kundalinis.
We would need like an audio podcast under a different name to say all that shit.
No, what I'm gonna do is one of these times, like as our audience grows,
up so late, Ali?
Yeah, Ali is so good to see Ali popping back in here. I know she's been avoiding the YouTube's lately, the independent media, and I get it. I mean, honestly, and I told her because we were chatting in DMs. Was it earlier today? I was like, I haven't been listening to a lot of stuff either because it's like. When it comes to election stuff, I just like I just tune out. I'm sorry, I don't have no faith in the system. If outside of the country maybe, but yeah, I don't want to hear nothing that has to do with elections in the U.S.
I mean, they're talking about Trump having classified or confidential nuclear plans of other countries that he could potentially sell. It's the dumbest shit ever. Why are you holding on to that? It's the dumbest shit.
Man, you see what Marcus said?
Not plausible. Paul said Corinth had the most hoes. Well, I guess calling me Corinth. No, I don't want to be like Corinth.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing I heard a lot of people talking about the whole what was it, Brianna Joy Gray and what was it, Crystal Ball beef, and any of these people who are still talking about electoral politics. I don't care if it's third parties. I've made my kind of point on third parties, and here I'll double down. In order for you to be a third party, you have to be able to get ballot. You have to be able to get on the ballots equally. You got to be able to get on the stage. There's a lot you have to be able to do. And how I see it is, it's impossible.
Marcus, real quick. When people go to vote and they look at the ballot, your name has to be on there in order for you to matter. Mm-hmm. You're not even getting to the point to where everyone automatically sees your party. Yeah. And that's on purpose. They're telling you that you have to meet all these metrics in order to get on the ballot. The other two parties, clearly from what we've seen, let's just say you believed everything up until 2016. Fine. From 2016 through 2022, if you haven't seen that just outright and blatant corruption, mismanagement, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you can't tap out on your own at this point, you forever lost. And I'm not going to stop the car to try to save you when we out of here from the zombie apocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we telling you when shit gets real, man.
I'm going to drive right by you. That's it.
when shit get real. Oh, and I wanted to share. I want to share Gregory Walker's comment.
And then hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on, Marcus. Look, let's even think about this, right? The nuclear codes. Okay, what country that has nukes haven't? Who have we not helped obtain a nuclear program?
Certain Middle Eastern countries.
I'm just saying, what country in the world has a nuclear program that the United States has not had a hand in helping them implement it, build it, grow it, etc.?
The only one is Russia.
Thank you. With that being said, what fucking nuclear program designs Trump has at Mar-a-Lago? You showed us a bunch of fucking folders and shit that said top secret and confidential and shit like that. Yo, you told me a wallet fell out of a plane in Manhattan and survived everything else when steel columns didn't survive. Okay? I'm not sorry that I don't believe you.
Yeah. Oh, let me get Gregory's comment over there. You'll like this one. It says, I think when it comes to the Queen, Notorious B.I.G. said it best. These bastards bleed like us.
Correct, Trez.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't care about any of this electoral stuff. I see the system for what it is, and I don't say this. I don't feel like Chris says this. I don't think we say this because we're some kind of nihilist, and we look at the ties. We look at the money. You don't get into power. You don't get put into positions unless you bend the knee.
Marcus, we need to just for further evidence of what we're saying. Cynthia McKinney, just look at her. She was actually one of the people who said she was for the people, and she tried to do shit for the people, and the people didn't support her when those other people came for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't white Southern racists in Georgia who came for her. Okay, it was a totally different group. You should look at the group that came for her.
Well, another thing that reminds me of this one pastor who was going after Beyonce. He was going after Beyonce. He was going in on Beyonce.
Allie, you understand it, Allie.
Yep. He was like, because I know y'all know that that little poem that she put at the beginning of, I think it's Lemonade or something like that, where she talking about she used the Holy Bible for her Mensa, basically.
Yeah, correct.
And it's like, yo, she can get away with saying that. There's billions of Christians, no pushback. But let her say spaz in one song.
Oh my God.
and the handicap community
hurting.
The handicap community like roasted her. And I'm like, so that's literally what it's called. If you make a movement like that, that's called a spasm. If your back is messed up and it makes you move, that's called a spasm. The S word. No, what it is a lot of these people, or see, y'all gonna get me onto a rant off topic, but a lot of these people, they're so in the mode of, I need to make myself into a victim in some kind of way. And a lot of times it's not even the people who are in that community who are the ones pushing it. It'd be somebody else who's like, I feel like that would offend me if I was handicapped or ableist. And so now you're not going to use that term because it offends me that it could possibly offend them. It's like, what?
Yeah, the ableist term. The ableist term is so overused at this point. It's like, okay, look, Marcus, you and I, we both walk on 2 feet. If we have to run, it's just a matter of thinking about it and putting another foot in front of the other, and we're going to run, right? If you see something in front of you, you'll duck, you'll walk around it, whatever. They be straight saying like, oh, because you could sit down without needing a wheelchair, you're ableist. I'm like, okay, you are 5 seconds away from getting blasted.
What that tells me also is like, when shit hits the fan, you're telling me that these people who are offended by every little thing are going to get out in the streets and do some fighting back? For real? That's what you want me to believe? Basically the woke mob, like Misha says, the woke mob, the softest generation that there's ever been in America, is going to be the one that's going to push back.
The woke mob on both sides of what we call the left or the right, they all need to be put in like what's the biggest NFL stadium?
Biggest one.
Or what's the biggest?
Is it the one out here in LA?
And okay, yeah, that's right. Or isn't there a college stadium that's bigger?
Shoot, the one in Jacksonville, it can fit up to 100,000.
Okay, so then yeah, we need to start filling that up with the woke on both sides.
Yeah, I mean,
because you got people on the right are woke too. They just woke in a different way. They're the ones who are like, oh, no one likes straight white men anymore, and there's an agenda against us. Okay, you better relax. You know what I'm saying? But
well, that's why they like. I watched this video. Somebody was telling this young Latina that telling her about like slavery, like, yeah, they used to have them on the auction block, and they would be like, this nigga for $5, and the girl was just like stunned, like, what, you didn't learn that used to happen? They're not learning this stuff anymore because the woke on the right are so afraid to talk about slavery and stuff that they're worried like somebody's gonna come after them or something. And it's like
they're just as bad as their counterparts. They just don't whine about it as much. Their whining is
they whine in public. That's what they do.
Correct. Their whining is just a tad bit different. Those on the left, like, you know, from the alphabet community, really, and I don't give a fuck what they say. Blame it on the Bacardi. It's not me. The show is my words are brought to you by Bacardi Pineapple tonight. With that being said, you know, with that alphabet crew, Jesus Christ, the one thing you say, they all coming for you. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ain't nobody calling for you to die. We just pointing out that there's a lot of inconsistency there, and some of this shit is funny, and we got jokes about it.
Think about it. Think about it. In Germany, the place of the Holocaust, they literally have the Holocaust Museum and talk about, well, it was messed up what our ancestors did, and the whole world comes to look at their shame and embarrassment. But Americans can't talk about shit that happened. When some of this shit, redlining and all this stuff happened not that long ago. I had a back and forth going on with this one guy, and he's trying to tell me how basically everything is even and fair, and you know, it's no big problem because Thomas Sowell told him so. Sorry if I keep doing that. My nose is itching a lot tonight for some weird reason.
What, you got allergies?
Yeah. And the weather's been real funky out here. I mean, it's been a lot hotter than normal in the hundreds.
Yeah, it hasn't been that, but it's been hot, as you can see. I mean, yeah. I know you can't see.
All week it's been like 102, 103, 105, shit like that.
Marcus, I'm straight lying. I have not this complexion, nowhere near it. If you see how my real complexion, they would be like, yo, you are perpetrating a fraud out here on these streets.
I know you are. I know you are. You're here faking the funk. See what you're doing? You're doing a reverse. You're doing a reverse Pierre. Really, you want to know Pierre Negros? I know who you are. You want to Pierre Negros. Pierre was like, "It's all right. It's all right. Pretty soon, you know, High Yellow. We're gonna be back in style again." So what
we coming back.
you trying to you brown yourself up to blend in. Hey, just like if I was back in Florida out like I have been lately, because I've been in the sun quite a bit lately, I would be like on the Wesley Snipes team, you know. Always bet on black.
Yo, you know what? It makes sense to be outside, right? Because you can turn your AC up to like 79 or 80 degrees, right? While it's super hot outside. You're outside for the hottest part of the day. When you come, the sun is probably down. So when you come back, your house is not like your AC ain't going crazy. Oh, now I be in the water streets.
But that's what does it also.
Yeah. Well,
That sun beaming through the water magnifies it on you. Oh, I know.
Yeah, we be in the water. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Marcus, I'm waiting for you to come here, dog. I already told you I got the hook up with you. Just tell me when.
I don't know. I got to plan it. Oh, Denver says Tennessee has massive stadiums as well. 102 to 103,000. Yeah. Ohio State, Michigan. We got a bunch of stadiums where we can pick from and start putting these motherfuckers in. Honestly, like I tell people all the time, I said, yo, not that anything has to even happen. How do you think you'll fare if just power grid went down for a week?
Oh shit. Like the first 2 days I might be okay. 3rd through 7th, it would be kind of tough.
What I'm saying, well, think about what I'm saying all the way through.
Yeah.
Power grid is down for a week. That means no cameras, no AC,
no hot water,
no buying shit. How long before?
I got you, man. Just you and Pretty come down here. I promise you, you're gonna love it.
Hey, I mean, like I tell them all the time, like, yo, I don't know, for me, because everybody's hot and everybody's sweating, I just got used to it. So it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Plus, another thing I tell people, no hot water options. I tell people, like, out here, like, everybody's like freaking out about how hot it is. I'm like, yo, this feels like what it felt like in Florida. And I'm like, you got to keep in mind, every place I've lived besides here has been hotter than here. Every place I lived. When I lived in Florida, when I lived in Puerto Rico, when I lived in KC, when I lived in Italy, when I lived in Spain, all of these places are hotter.
Look, Marcus, my brother went to DR a couple weeks ago, right? And he went to El Campo, like where his friend's family's from. So, you know, he shit in the outhouse. There was no AC. You know, there's animals everywhere. You know, it's and you know, he was just telling me about it.
Oh yeah.
I said, for some people, not necessarily you, to my brother, like not necessarily you, but a lot of people gonna be living just like that.
But hey, one thing though, I bet you that mofongo was fire out there.
Oh, of course, you already know the mofongo was.
I know it was on point with them fresh plantains.
Look, I'm a fat boy. I love food. I do. I really am. I'm a fat boy. I love food. It don't even matter. Yeah, I'm telling you, Marcus, you come out here, we get fat, we eat.
Oh yeah. Denver brought up a couple more points.
What do you say?
No fridge, no freezer, food spoilage. How some of y'all gonna make it without a microwave or air fryer? How
That's
y'all
a
gonna
great
do that?
point.
I mean, and then these businesses.
There's no ice.
Yo, how many banks gonna have to watch their ass if that shit happen? Yo, how many stores in general? And then like remember that old song? What was it, Houdini? The freaks come out at night.
The freaks.
Oh, I'm telling you, I know some people hear the way I speak and they're like, you know, you sound a little proper. Yo, I grew up with them wolves though. It might not sound like it, but I know them wolves, they're gonna be out hunting.
It's gonna be like the purge. Just stay in your crib, play defense for the first few days. Everybody gonna run out of bullets, shooting each other. That's when you go out afterwards. You just give them a couple days, even a couple weeks to act stupid. When you come outside,
you're gonna have to board your shit up too, though. You gotta board your shit up too, because not only it's gonna work just staying in the house, they come into your house.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So just be on some defensive shit because they're stupid. They're the people who go outside when this shit first pops off. You know, that's what is it? Short but special. Let them take care of themselves. And then, you know, you get the short bus adjacent people afterwards. Let them take care of themselves. And then, you know, so on and so forth. Just wait it out. It won't take long. They're that stupid. They will kill each other relatively quickly.
It goes back to the George Carlin thing. Like, you know, they should just start taking the labels off some shit. Like, if you don't know you shouldn't eat paint, you should find out.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, y'all. That's not right. If y'all don't know, me and Chris, when we talk off camera, some of my jokes are a little. What would you describe some of my sense of humor, Chris?
Oh, son, cancellation.
Yes, y'all would really. Ali knows too. Y'all would have to like for real cancel.
You know, obviously for me, no, but clearly for this era, like that would be the best like definition of it. You know.
I mean, I grew up in a different fold, completely different fold, who think and see things very differently than this new, softer, gentler.
So
like I remember,
even the words have changed. Like even the word box, you got to be careful using.
Well, shoot, you can't even say.
Like to me, I'm like, oh, it's a box. I got.
Well, think about it. It went from. I mean, now you get in trouble
you
for
box
literally.
Somebody up now. Box means something totally different.
Well, now you get in trouble for saying "ma'am" to the wrong person.
Yeah.
You lose your job over saying "ma'am" to the wrong person. Shit has definitely changed. Let's see, if people can't figure out your sense of humor out from that, it's probably not going to work out anymore.
No, it's not at all.
I mean, I have that sailor sense of humor, and like you know how Chris was giving you guys like some of his like his near-death experience he had earlier today. Yo, literally, I've almost been blown up a couple of times. Like I've almost went off the side of a cliff twice. When I was one was in Greece, the other one was in Italy. Somebody who's been so near to death, probably like 4 or 5 times. You gotta kind of have a weird sense of humor, and if you've seen some even crazier stuff, you gotta kind of joke about some of this shit and not like lose it.
You do.
Just like when crazy shit happens at work, I just kind of like chuckle, and they're like, "That's why are you laughing about that? I'd be pissed off." Well, do you want to get pissed off and flip and go 0 to 100, or do you want to keep your job and just make it through the day
and pay your bills? Not even anything else. Do you want to keep your job and pay your bills?
like Myra's mom said, I did that. I said "ma'am" to the wrong person. That's like the saying "ma'am" to the wrong person is equivalent back in the day of like, the whole pregnancy thing. Remember, you'd be like, "Oh, how many months are you?" She's like, "I'm not fucking pregnant, asshole." That's the same equivalent. Chris know what I'm talking about. That shit used to happen all the time. Everybody got a story like that. When they thought they was being nice or something. They realized,
that's it. That's it. It goes home, kid.
Watch a room, and you better hope that it's like a store where it's like a passing moment, and it's not like somebody who's coming over to like hang out and have dinner or something at your house, because then it's real awkward for the next couple of hours.
Yo, what 50 said, yo. He said, "Yo, you 34. Who's baby fat?"
Ooh, Myra just over there just fucking up. Said I did that one a while back too. You sound like you're probably one of my friends. No, or you'd be like, I had a friend that was like, he was like, well, maybe she's not pregnant, maybe she already had the baby. And then like tried to like clean it up and just made the shit worse. Allie says, I appreciate that someone is willing to go out there and take the chance. I respect. Yeah, in person though, especially if I'm not at work and you meet me in person, I'm gonna say some stuff that's gonna offend you. That's all I'm gonna
My
tell you.
thyroid, Misha.
Yeah, you got that
No, I
bad
shouldn't be
thyroid.
saying that. Like, this is so fucked up. You know, look, again, this episode was sponsored by McCarty Pineapple. It's not what I say is, you know, it's not sponsored by me.
Or if we're gonna say it right, Bacardi. Yes, yes, Hamza. I'm back on YouTube's. I think. You know, I think even though what we've said has probably been more risky than anything that we were doing on YouTube, they're probably like, good, as long as they are not bringing up the dirt about the Queen. Speaking of dirt about the Brits, let's get back to the video. See, they can't get on me about showing it from my own channel. Like I told you guys, the volume's not going to be the greatest, but just look at the red spots that keep lighting up.
Allie, you pregnant? You dropping dimes? Allie, you having a kid? You having a baby?
Mm-hmm. No, she just practicing.
Oh shit, Marcus.
I'm sorry. Hey, I don't even have liquor in my system. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing there. Ignore me, y'all. I'm not right. I'm not right. You set him up, I'll knock him down. No, I'm just
Marcus said, yo, she working on a crossover.
Told y'all, man. Y'all know I'm a sailor. Come on, y'all can't do me like that. And then you're gonna get me into some of the Navy jokes that I used to tell that would get this whole shit taken down. Cause like I remember we used to have like,
oh yeah, we're gonna wake up in the morning and then you know, I'm gonna look for the episode to go and like it from my phone. And it won't even be there.
In fact, YouTube they're gonna drop the whole filter. They're not gonna be like, "Hello, Political Matrix. Some of your content." They be like, "Listen, nigga, you was going too far last night."
Y'all way too out of pocket tonight. Like,
I'm gonna get a. That's gonna be a phone call from Bernice. You know, instead of getting an email, she just gonna like hit me on the 2-way or something. Let me stop. But that's what I'm saying. That's what we're gonna. Hey, when we do like our appreciation show to the audience, we doing that shit on Rockfin straight up.
Streets got jokes. Streets got jokes. He Streets a clown. Look at this.
Man, they probably like. I guarantee you, they probably like show like the higher ups my videos just to get them mad. It's like, y'all really let that go? Well, technically, ma'am, I guarantee you. I say, am I allowed to summon the weird people who make accounts? No. Don't bring that motherfucker. No. Yes.
You know, I just died at that comment. Like, that shit is funny as hell.
No, don't bring that motherfucker around here. No. Feel free to reach out to Twitter. No need to bring the messenger. Yeah,
right? That's what I'm saying. Let us enjoy it.
Woo, yes.
Yeah.
No.
Correct.
I honestly said, I'm really surprised that somebody didn't. I tried to summon them earlier. I said Jesuit 3 times in a row. I said Knights of Malta. And there's no Choosy that's appeared yet. I'm like, what the fuck? Is my genie not working? Let me rub the cup some more and see if he'll come floating out. I mean, normally every time we start talking about Knights of Malta or whatever, I especially figured with the Queen and he saw the pentagram, he would have been right in here. I don't know. Maybe the black van finally came and got him. There was like, you know, he been talking about us too much. Knights of Malta is on the Choosy. Yes, we love Choosy. Choosy's all good in our book. Gotta tease him because he's not here. Not because I know he'll watch it later. So we gotta mess with it. But yeah, let's get back into this video. And I'm trying to remember, did they even show the Americas? I don't know. But yeah,
Marcus,
just watch the red.
did you see any, this earlier this week was the Labor Day, right? And Labor Day parade is a big thing in the West Indian community.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, did you see any of the costumes or anything from any of the parties?
No comments.
Okay, I will have to show you off. Yeah. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Britain.
Yeah. All right. So let's get it playing. And again, apologies for the sound. It's not loud enough, but just watch all the places. And I'm pretty sure I'll put it in full screen. That way we can read it.
In 1868, and as German colonies right before World War I, the British also invaded Togo and Cameroon without annexing them afterwards. For the final area of the world left to discuss, let's move over to the Americas. All of Canada was a British colony until 1931, while Newfoundland remained until 1949. The United States, of course, was a colony until 1776, and was invaded again in 1812, and the modern states of Oregon and Washington were claimed right up until 1846. As far as other outright British colonies here go, there was the Bahamas, Jamaica, Belize, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana. Besides colonies, Cuba was invaded and occupied during the 7 Years' War in 1762. Haiti was invaded in 1793 during the French Revolutionary Wars. The Dominican Republic was invaded way back in 1655 in an attempt at conquest under Oliver.
See, that's all my place right there. The West Indies. That's all my shit right there.
For nearly 2 centuries until 1815.
I got people from Dominica, Antigua, Grenada, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica,
War of the Austrian Succession. The British invaded a lot of Spain's colonies, including Panama, a huge one into Colombia, and ultimately Peru.
Pause that real quick, Marcus.
The British took over Suriname because it was a
hey, Streets, I don't do no parking. What the hell wrong with you, Streets? You know we don't do that.
Yeah, a video. If Chris starts twerking on any video,
stream is
over.
It's game over. I'm canceled. Come for me. Send the alphabet. Send the police. All that. Like IRS. Yeah, come for me. Yeah, please. But I just wanted to say, the building of the Panama Canal was a major event throughout the whole Caribbean. So whoever decided to do that actually changed a lot, because that was the biggest source of work for that entire region. So you had people from all of the islands go to Panama, and South America go to Panama literally to help build this canal. That's how my pops and them got here, because I thought it was Panama. It's not really Panama. Well, it is Panama, but prior to Panama, we have to go to Barbados. And then we go to Barbados, and one of the biggest plantations in Barbados has our family name on it. Not that we were the plantation owners. We were the workers, so to speak. We were the, what did they call us in Texas? The migrant workers. That's what we were.
Oh, that's what they're, yeah, that's right. That's what they're calling.
We were the migrant workers in Barbados.
Or no, not migrant workers. It's indentured servants now.
Oh, yeah. That too.
Let me put.
But it's just that whenever you showed that section of the world, it obviously it just made something in my brain click to bring that up. So I'm sorry for derailing the chat and conversation, guys.
Well, while bringing that up, this is what Uma put over there from the Rock fans. Hello, Uma, glad to see you. Says, are we talking Commonwealth today?
More or less, Uma.
Well, here's another one. Well, a lot of people don't realize that Panama and Colombia used to be the same country.
Correct.
They used to be. And
it was
also,
Gran Colombia. That was the name.
Yeah.
But then the United States, through their business interests, went ahead and convinced a certain portion of that population in and around where we call Panama today to separate themselves from Colombia. They did. Panama was formed. Colombia, lost land. And shortly thereafter this happened. What happened? The fucking digging of the canal.
Yep.
But
And
you know
then
it's crazy,
military
right?
base
Because,
there to hold it.
look, you know what's crazy? My father's born in Panama, right? He had to get his citizenship, right? He's American now, right? John McCain was born in the same fucking place.
Yep.
He was able to run for president. They was okay with it.
Well, and I would throw that in while you're talking canals. You also had the Suez Canal, which when the Suez Canal was built, that stripped apart the piece of land which actually connected
Egypt.
That actually stripped. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what is it? Egypt and not Jordan. I can't remember the country right now. Blame it on the goose, even though I'm not drinking.
Yeah, I'm forgetting. I'm blanking right now. Also, it was but it basically separated that, and so that's when the whole term the Middle East came in. When all of that was Africa, because if you go to the area of Palestine, that area is still, the tectonic plates are still Africa. So I mean that's something that a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, they knocked out that piece of land that connected it, that made it one landmass to be able to walk across.
But you know what's interesting about Panama though? They number one, they have the color speaking. They have the darkest speaking Spanish people anywhere. I know you can mention Santiago, Cuba, and you can mention other places in Colombia, Nicaragua, and all that. But the Panamanians are the ones, they're the darkest, and they are also into the West Indian culture. They're not fully into the Hispanic culture. They are, but they are also foot in the West Indian culture. So I was gonna say, when they speak English, they sound very much like somebody from Jamaica or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily sound like somebody from Cuba or Dominican Republic or
I would beg to disagree. Especially no, what I'm saying is on the island, especially Puerto Rico, you have multiple accents. Multiple different accents. So you have some people who have more of a Caribbean sound. You have people who have almost like a French kind of sound. You have people who sound more like Cubanos. You have a mixture of different dialects, even on that little tiny island. And so you have the same there in DR too. I think where you get more of the separation would be when you start getting to, Mexico or Mexico, Guatemala. You start getting into those areas, then you get a big difference.
Then you get more history. Like if you close your eyes and heard my father talk, especially when he's animated, you would say, "Yo, this guy is Jamaican." But then he would turn around and speak Spanish. That's his first language, right? My first memory of music is salsa because of that, right? But he speaks Spanish. That's his first language. But when he speaks, he sounds like you would think Jamaican. You know what I mean?
Well, there was a big migration of Jamaicans into Panama also, so I don't think that's ever really talked about.
People throughout the West Indies, right? From all the islands, not just Jamaica, everywhere. They all went there for work, because they all worked.
When the canal was being built,
correct. They were all able to make more money than they had ever made before. You know what I'm saying? And they were actually able to take care of their family back home. But them chicks, they're bad, and they was taking care of them too. I'm just saying.
Hold on one sec.
Oh, he left. All right. Oh yeah, he left me and put me on mute. I wonder if somebody was knocking at his door. But what time is it? Oh, we had
I had some knocking at the door. So I will play. It's only a couple minutes left of this video. We'll hop back in it, and then that's about all I wanted to show. I mean, I definitely wanted to get into this video. Don't worry though, it's not the full 25 minutes on here. It's just on my version that I did. It encompassed the U.S. also. Yeah, so here we go.
The Revolutionary French and later Napoleon. They also invaded Martinique and Guadeloupe because they actually were French during the Napoleonic Wars. Venezuela was invaded in 1902 as part of the so-called Venezuela crisis to force the country to repay some debts they had defaulted on, kind of like Mexico, while Argentina and Uruguay were both invaded during the Napoleonic Wars as well in 1806 when Spain and her colonies were still allied with Napoleon. And that pretty much sums up all of the territory the British have ever ruled and all of the countries the small island has ever invaded. There are a total of 65 countries today who celebrate their independence days from the British Empire. The empire used to rule over a quarter of all the world's land at the same time and was the biggest empire in human history. And in total, today, there have been 117 modern countries that have been aggressively invaded by the British armed forces during some point in their histories, representing a total of 60% of all the world's nations.
Are you muted? I can't hear you. Can you guys hear Marcus?
Sorry, I guess I was muted.
Okay.
My bad. I was gonna say, if you guys want to check out that video, actually, I can go ahead and put it in the chat. That way, you guys, if you wanted to see it, my version or because my version has, it like as you see, it's getting into the U.S. also. And I put already in the chat the original video, which got the stream dropped for some reason. Oh, there it is. So yeah, there we go. And both of these videos, I mean, and they still leave some stuff out. Yeah, Jira says they were some damn determined mofos. No, they were some greedy, evil ass mofos who wanted to steal everything from the whole damn world. That's what it was. When you're that little and you own 65% of the world, you know that's a problem. I mean, but think about it. Before them, Spain did the same thing. Before them, Portugal was trying to do the same damn thing. It just seems like Europeans, for some reason, decided it's not enough for us to just have what we have. We got to go and conquer every fucking body. And that's what they did. Yes, YouTube does suck balls. And that's part of why, I mean, that's part of why it blows my mind. What I'm going on 3 years for the what we've been thinking. I'm almost at 3 years.
Mr. Streets, it's propaganda to the effect that they don't say, they don't detail all of the twisted and nasty and really foul shit that they did when they got there. But we just really wanted to use that video just to highlight just the scope of
the scope, and that's even not. That's even.
It's not anything. It wasn't anything more than just to highlight the scope, you know.
Yeah, if we would have went into the damn, did they drop it again or something? Because everybody's like, oh,
you're back. Because everybody said we back, so we must have.
They really even dropped it from me showing it from my shit. Damn, that's some bullshit. I guess what it is with this queen fucking dying, they don't want nothing to look bad about the British Empire. So, but you guys can always check the links that we put in the chat, in the live chat to be able to go back. Street says, yeah, I was gone for about a minute in the video. So I guess it dropped us for about a minute. Jared says, I saved the episode, Marcus. Thank you. So yeah, you know what? I might remaster that. What I might do is I might remaster it and just upload it onto Rockfin. Like I tell everybody, please go check the stuff on Rockfin. Some of this stuff, some of you guys might have been subscribed to us, and they might have like just buried the content Sometimes they didn't give you guys a notification. Sometimes they unsubscribe. And it's weird now that we've been growing on Rockfin. I keep talking about that we keep growing on Rockfin. All of a sudden, our views, I mean, not views, but our subscriber numbers are starting to go up more over here. Now, they still bury the live streams, but at least our numbers are going up.
All day.
Because, I mean, even after, like before, like 5 minutes after the video was, after the live stream was over, you could just go to our channel and see it there. Now, you have to go to the channel, go to videos, click live stream, and then you'll see it there. But if you just click videos, it won't show it for like almost a whole day. That's another way they try to bury our content. So you got to ask yourself, why are they working so hard to bury the content? Street says, how many Rockfin subscribed? Yeah, how many of you guys out there subscribe to Rockfin also? Let's see what we are at now. Current number.
I'm checking from my phone.
Current number would be, let's see if I beat you there. We're at 959, so almost 960. So at the rate that we've been going, yeah. At the rate that we're going, we will probably hit our 1,000 mark by our next show. If I don't do any lives or anything in the meantime, might jump it up even faster. But yeah, we're getting close to that 1,000 mark. And we've been on there for 3 months. So in 3 months on Rockfin, it's going to surpass what this channel was done in 2.5 years. And what the other channel's done in almost 3 years. And what the Hebrew Apologetics, combine all that's 1.5 years, 2.5 years, almost 3 years for all three of those channels. And combined, Rockfin in about 3 months is about to pass all of them combined.
Damn, Sam.
So you tell me, is it that, oh no, people just aren't into your content? They're not into our content, Chris. But for some reason on Rockfin, they seem to be interested in it. We know what's going on here. This is your bullshit ass algorithms. Like, I remember they got called out not that long ago for their racism. You know, it was but what it takes is a big time content creator. And when a big time content creator calls that out,
Marcus,
that's when it gets pointed out.
You know what, Marcus? There's not very many young black dudes like us doing this. Like even I have a lot of friends in our peer group, right? Age and life and things of that nature. There's nobody. There's very few of us doing this. Like, we'll talk about it in a barbershop. We'll talk about it like in the garage, in the backyard, in the pool. But there's very few of us actually, talking about it like this. Most of my, how can I say, peers, they're more interested in just pure entertainment aspect of, having a podcast to show. They want to talk about the Migos breaking up. They want to talk about, a future.
Oh, why Method Man is not going to be with the Wu-Tang reunion tour and dumb shit like that.
Yeah,
they want to bicker about, oh, well, Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe, they let's correct the history on them giving Puerto Rican credit on hip hop. I'm like,
Rhymes is whack.
You motherfuckers are stupid.
Because he said Puerto Ricans are there.
Oh, Vente Cafe says, I have to thank Convo Couch, Slow News Day, and RBN for bringing me to your channel. Yeah, much shout out to all of them. Shout out.
Cool. Whoever you just listed, shout out to them.
Pasta and Fiorella, both of them, they came on the show.
You know those guys from Slow News Day?
And of course, you guys know Glory has been on here numerous times. So has Steve. Steve is like, Steve's literally one of the first people that I went on any kind of live stream with. So me and Steve go back quite a ways. I mean, before I started my own channel, so close to maybe 4 years.
Yeah, Glory. I haven't seen Glory in a while, or there's a few people have to come by in a while.
And then
You can't be affected by rogue variants. You know what I'm saying? Like, just we have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, just ignore that and just come through. We good.
Well, in RBN, shout out to JB Font. JB had me on his show. Big appreciation for him for that. And I've been on Savvy's show also. So, much love to them and what they're doing out there. Says, don't know them personally, just watch your stuff. Yeah, I mean, I know them. I know them. I guess I would say I consider them friends. I've met Fiorella before Pasta. I met her at like a Bernie rally, I believe, and I was trying to catch up with Nico, and me and him, we were just like missing each other. He was there at that time also. Why you were doing
Allie, that was a bad pitch. I don't know do you watch baseball at all? That was just like an errant pitch. But I'm back on the mound. I'm back on the mound. I'm not head hunting.
Wild thing, put the glasses back on and keep them over the plate.
Yeah. This next one's going right over the plate. Like, no, that was like a brush back.
Only a handful of people caught that inside joke.
Yeah, correct. That's why it made me laugh whenever, when she said why, because I could almost hear her say why.
Yes. I like I said, me and Allie, we're gonna have to sit you down. We're gonna have to have an intervention. We're gonna have to straighten you out, Mr. Wildness. Denver over here says, and Rockfin gets buried by the Google search engine as well. It should have a larger market share and total member base because it's way more dedicated to free speech. It should. Denver also says, Steve is a marvel. That guy's brilliant. Posture's really great. I like the dynamic they have. Yeah, I tune in and catch their show on occasion when I can, but sometimes I have to like remember, oh shoot, you got 3 shows of your own. Maybe you should do some research and studying and make content. And I'm not just talking about live streams. There's a bunch of stuff which I need to make videos on, which I got backlog, but I can only screen record so much stuff and put it out at a time. I got like maybe 5 or 6 videos that are stocked and loaded across the 3 platforms that I have. So, and then also even on the Periscope, they bury us over there on Twitter now. So none of my accounts get out. I used to have like polls where I would easily get 300, 400, 500. I've even had polls where I've gotten like, what was it? What was that one poll? It was like 3,000 people in it. Now I get maybe like 15 people running a 7-day poll. So it is what it is. But yeah, I guess we can leave it there. You got anything you'd like to say, Chris?
Let's say I have this about, oh shit. You know what? I didn't even realize it. I just looked at the clock. Today's September 11th.
Yeah, that's right. September 11th, Sunday, yeah.
That was 21 years ago?
No, 21.
21 years. Shit, that's like a whole adult right now. Like somebody who was born on that day then is now a whole adult right now.
Yeah.
They're gonna go out partying tonight. They're probably already out partying.
Hey, do you want to?
For you guys on the West Coast, for you guys on the West Coast, obviously it has midnight.
It's not there yet. I was wondering in the afternoon, did you want to do? We'll probably have to do this on Rockfin though. Rockfin only. September 11th.
Oh shit! Yeah, hell yeah.
and let you just go all in?
Yeah, you can let me go off. That's fine. I don't even
Well,
need.
what we'll do is we'll coordinate it. What I will do is I'll get on here to YouTube, do a quick upload, let you guys know the time that, hey, we're going to be going live on Rockfin over here at this time, like a little reminder, and then we'll kick it off. Yeah, because I think we got to do something for September 11th.
Because think about it, like whatever happened that day laid the foundation for what we just lived through the last 2 years. We don't live through the last 2 years.
Don't give him nothing yet. Don't give him too much.
Yeah.
Don't give him too much yet. We're
for
gonna
real,
definitely do this tomorrow.
But you know, if you had a kid on September 11th, 01, that person is 21 years old right now.
21 years old.
A whole adult, like living with the propaganda and the, you know, all the bullshit that comes along with
I'm gonna reach out to. I know I've talked to Steve about putting you two together on this topic for a minute, and so I might kind of just sit back and be the host moderator and let you two just kind of go into it and pull up whatever and just do this straight on Rockfin.
You should holler at your boy Burmis.
Yeah, well, I ain't really got it like that with Burmis. I don't even think Burmis knows my name. But I'll reach out to him and see if he's interested in, coming on. But yeah,
because I think isn't he the dude who did like Loose Change?
Oh, that's definitely in his will. I don't know if he did Loose Change, but I know that's in his wheelhouse. Well, I mean, I'll reach out to him. I'll see. But yes, make sure you all are on the Rockfin. Make sure you guys are all on the
Steve
Rockfin.
and your boy Steve has talked to him. He's been on Steve's show, and Steve been on his. You know what I'm saying? We could, but he's one of those. Look, Burmis is cool. He's on point. He gets everything right, and this is not a shot at him or anything like that. But there's a whole other part of the system that he doesn't see because he doesn't have to deal with it because he is lily white. You know what I mean? My issue with those guys is that they see a lot of corruption. They see a lot of everything that's fucked up. They just don't see it when it's right here in a state affecting people who live on a street. That part, they don't get it. That room income turned to heaven.
Yeah, give me about 2 minutes, Chris. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. He used to work at InfoWars now in Rockfin. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I'm familiar with with him. But again, those people have a block, shall we say, whether with their purpose, directly or indirectly, they have a block. They see a lot of systematic issues. They just don't see any systematic issues as it relates to color. It's just amazing. I'm just like, how don't you see that? You guys are supposed to be really, really, really smart and in tuned and tapped in, timed out, all that bullshit. But they be missing the point as it relates to people who look like Marcus and myself. So I would love to talk to them. I would love to, just pick their brain, even off camera, not even on camera, because on camera, people will. It's a different vibe, right? When we're not on camera, people are a little bit more willing to be their authentic self. And plus, I got ways of drawing that shit out of people. It's all good. I've been around. Rockfin's the only one I can afford to pay for. Yes, correct. Yeah, Ali, that's what I have to say about my libertarian friends. Libertarians, they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Again, you have a blind side you're not seeing. Let me help you understand the part of it that you're not getting. Oh, Marcus is back. You came back like Jeannie or Samantha sent you back. I'm dating myself.
Yeah, I mean,
I just
That's
dated
what I'm saying.
myself when I said Jeannie and Samantha. Does the crowd know who Jeannie and Samantha is? Do you know who Jeannie and Samantha are?
I used to watch it. Boy, quit playing with me. Dude.
I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry for
Jeannie,
trying you,
Samantha, Darren. Come on. Who's gonna be the first to get it?
I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry, Marcus.
I'm gonna tell. I know who's gonna get it first. I bet you Denver get it.
Mm-hmm.
Atris is like, we're gonna hear Marcus fart and shit. LOL. Yeah, Berman is funny as fuck. I mean, I definitely will reach out to him. I mean, plus they could be busy and all that, but who knows? If maybe they are interested to get it. Wow, I think this is probably a new record for us. We are up to 15 currently watching on Rockfin right now.
Okay. Who did you want, Marcus? Did you want Samantha or did you want Jeannie?
I probably would have. I'm gonna go all the way out. I want Mary Ann. I'm just playing. They're like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. But I did like that little. I did like that little thing she used to do with the nose, though.
It was either Samantha, it's either the witch or the
Yay! There we go.
Oh,
Sunshine got it.
Oh, Sunshine got it. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Sunshine in the building. Somebody tell a good political joke before we say good night.
Oh, damn. Do I have any political good jokes? I don't. Oh, the only political joke I got is that people actually believe that Barack Obama selects his playlist for all these streaming
Oh
sites.
yeah. I got a joke for y'all.
Oh, side note, I hate John Legend's politics. His album is actually pretty fucking good. I just listened to it. I probably listened to it 3 times yesterday while I work.
I was gonna say, what are 2 things that priests?
What is it, Ali?
Yeah, what is it, Ali? Where you going with this one? Tonight at a restaurant, a gigless couple walked in, and the guy looked and said his name for reservation. And so everything goes, I'm proposing to her, and like, hope it goes nice.
Then goes.
Ali, please tell me the restaurant you work is a nice one. I do not want to hear that this dude proposed to a girl, and it was just like he took her to Denny's. That would be Jack.
No, that's Ali. He sounds like a frat boy. He sounds like a frat boy. He don't sound like unless he caught her doing dirt. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look, Hamza said Michelle is really Michael.
That's not a joke. That's just truth. That's just a fact. I got a joke for everybody. So, what is something that priests and two things that priests and Republican politicians have in common?
I don't know. You got me beat. What?
Anybody know?
No, you got me. Go ahead.
Anybody?
Ali behaves.
Crickets.
Yeah,
nobody have a clue?
Yeah, Cricket Streets. Word. I don't know. Go ahead, Marcus.
Ooh, pretty close, Jared. Lying rate. I say they both like to go into small places with men. Oh boy.
This episode has been brought to you by the Cancellation Click. You will not see this episode if you weren't watching live. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Cy Lawson and Young Morpheus, aka Marcus Cage. He made the last joke. I made all the other ones. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, I made the one that got us canceled, right?
Yeah, that's your fault.
Hey,
that's what we're gonna do.
Hey, they go into them little closet with
yeah,
having to do things with people of the opposite sex. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, of the same sex.
Yeah.
I say, y'all remember Larry Craig tapping his foot
in the airport? He had the wide stance. Who goes to the bathroom?
I was just putting my legs really wide, and I thought he was going to hand me some toilet paper.
Son, I don't care if your dick is like, like 4 feet long and like 2 feet wide. You're not putting your legs into the stall next to you. You're fucking blocking my.
It's something about the closet with those guys.
Ain't got nothing to do with it.
It's just something about that closet thing with them guys, huh? they all trapped in the closet like R. Kelly.
Yo, he put out a new song yesterday.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
On air. No, the song ain't bad.
What?
It's called Air. The song ain't bad. If you listen to it, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, this is okay."
Well, what is it alluding to? Did he do it like Shine? Is this a prison song?
No, it's not. No. if it is a prison song, they got if it is a prison song, the production is actually very good on it.
Well, I mean, Shine, helped them out.
Hamza says Obama's kids are not his real kids because he said it's impossible for a Barack and a Michael to produce children. That's what Hamza is saying. Am I correct, Hamza? Oh, Mr. Streets, I don't want to see twerking. Twerking annoys me.
Oh, I got this one video. There's one video of twerking that you should see. I mean, it's just hard to find stuff on TikTok if you don't remember it exactly. But it was like this one. You know how they always have videos where they watching people about to do something. So this girl gets on, start doing her little thing, and then her twerk is just horrible.
But you know what the difference is, Marcus? I really be outside. Like I'm outside. Like Jada Kid, like what Kid said to Cam? He said, "You live in Miami. I'm from New York. I'm outside."
I realize I can't tell any of my jokes. Not a lot of my jokes, I can't really tell. I can't. Can I tell that one? No.
I saw the guy. I saw the guy who supposedly is the father before.
Oh
yeah. I've seen him before.
Actually, I got one joke. My mom told me this joke, so hopefully this one I can get this joke. All right, so it's this stewardess. Dang, I probably already messed up. Is stewardess the wrong term now?
I hope y'all are laughing because in addition to like serious shit, we really want to get these jokes off. For real.
I mean, what is it? What is it? Flight attendant. A flight attendant was walking by, and this man asked, like, "Hey, where's the restroom at?" And she's like, "All right, back there to the left." He goes back, uses the restroom, and when he comes back to his seat, and the flight attendant is like, "Excuse me, sir, your garage door is open." And he's like, "Hey, do you see a shiny Porsche with some nice plump tires?" And she's like, "No, I actually see a Volkswagen with some couple of flat ones." Sorry. Hey, that's courtesy of my mom. That's the only joke I could think of that. So yeah, if that's my mom's sense of humor, then yeah, mine's worse.
Marcus, on my bucket list is I want to do stand-up, and I've probably got enough people to fill like maybe the first 3 rows, but I really would like to fill the first 5 rows so that if anybody's gonna throw stuff at me, they'll have to throw it from the 6th row and beyond. That means the velocity won't be so bad. So if it does hit me, I won't be hurt. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna call up Hamza and see if he still got some connects with the NOI, and have them sit in the first 2 rows, turn facing the crowd.
Oh shit! They're gonna pelt me. I'm gonna be pelted with bean pies.
No, that way they're gonna be scared. They're gonna be scared to do anything with the NOI there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be like, yeah, step up and say something now after my joke. I remember I came up with this bit.
No, but for real, that's what I would really like to do that. Like I'll be at work practicing material.
I'll give you this joke. Like I won't. I'll go into detail. The rest of it, I'm just saying it so the crowd can get the gist of this joke I came up with. Well, it's kind of more a joke / skit. It was Michael Jackson at home as a teenager, and his parents weren't home, and he was about to, you know, spank the monkey. And so through Michael Jackson's songs, like one of the songs I use is what was it? Looking at the magazine and Dirty Diana, and looking at the man in the mirror, and just beat it, and oh, never mind. And so I was like, singing the songs.
Yeah, that was good.
And then like he hears the noise of like the car pulling up, and he's like, "You are not alone." Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's a new one.
Right, Marcus, we hit the 3 hour mark.
We hit the 33 hour mark.
Yeah,
and like if y'all want something really funny, just I got one. This pastor named Geno Jennings. Yo, I know y'all hear pastor. The other way. When I put the Geno Jennings one up, y'all gonna want to see this one because it starts off. No.
Oh, okay.
Well, for one, Geno Jennings is a pastor who sounds like an arch villain. And it, like the way he preaches, it's just crazy. And then like the rest of his congregation, they be like, I don't know if this is acting. I don't know if they really feel they be getting the spirit. But the dude be reading, he'd be like, "Great," be like, 2 Timothy, do it and then he'll be like, "Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah." And I'm like, is this motherfucker having a stroke? What is going on over here? And then you see one dude, he'll be in the back. We're like, whoa, what happened to him? And they be getting up, they be like running around and doing chicken dances and stuff.
Yeah,
and
look, I'm gonna take the shot. The Pentecostal church seems like a whole bunch of bullshit. But they talking in tongues and all that other shit they be doing. It's no.
Because I did one video. Didn't I show you the one where it was like dancing in church? Oh, Sunshine must know about Geno Jennings.
Correct.
And I put dancing in church.
Yo, Streets, man, we appreciate. Sorry, Marcus. Streets, we really appreciate it, man. You and your people, whoever, for real, like we really do appreciate it because it's Saturday night, it's late. You know, y'all could be all dressed up and going out doing whatever it is you want to do, when you want to do, who you want to do. But
I'm gonna give them. I gotta give them a little bit of Geno so they'll know what I'm talking about. For those who haven't seen it, so y'all can know, this dude he's a character. Man, when I need something funny, I do really watch Geno Jennings. Like this dude is funny as hell to me. He ain't trying to be funny. At least I don't think he's trying to be funny, but he's funny as fuck to me. Where's it at? Oh, I know it's getting late, so I'm trying to hurry up. Let's see, there it is. Busting a Move for Jesus. That's the name of the video I made.
I don't even want to see it. That just sounds like that sounds like something that should be on Pornhub. Like whenever you put in Pornhub, it should be busting it for Jesus. Like that's horrible.
This video is hilarious. It is hilarious. Oh, Sunshine saw that. She saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it is. I'm gonna leave it so they can see your reaction to this. I don't know. You remember this one, Chris?
Oh, that's my man. That's my man 50 grand right there.
Here it goes.
But he about to get in. Watch, look.
He about to track meet this shit.
Yep.
Got the elephant arm going.
Yep. Let me do a stretch on.
Yeah. He like he didn't did something.
Uh-oh. Look. Hey.
Yes, this is from the pulpit.
Word of the Lord for today. Yeah, I got a word. It ain't prophetic, it's pathetic. You Jacksonville, Florida. all these gimmicks, all this church antics. Shoko, Matalasa. Yoko, Mama Tata. Yoko, Mama Tata.
Yo, Thomas, they
Yeah, that's just a little bit of Gino right there for y'all. Okay, let me stop. Oh, I had so much fun making that video.
Right?
Yes, he did literally throw a pillow out of the crowd. Vente Cafe is like, what the fuck is this? I was showing, hey, look, the title is Busting a Move for Jesus. This is what these people were doing.
Exactly, Ali. Just do a late night after one.
We'll say, y'all really want me? Y'all ain't gonna be up all night like this. I don't know if y'all really want.
Oh no, we could bring back the Nigerian church pastors. I think for some of the people in the crowd, they remember. They the ones that's really active.
They remember the Nigerian one where they was basically giving the lap dances.
Yeah, or the one where he stepped on the woman's vagina and said, like, I'm stamping out the devil. And he started, like, putting his foot on her vagina on the floor and saying that he was stamping out the devil.
Wow. Rap twerking at church, now seen it all. Yeah. Oh, this video gets worse than Thomas. If you ain't seen it, bro, check out the rest of this video. It gets worse. This is a good video to have a good drink to, if that's your thing, and just laugh. Misha says, years ago I watched the TD Jakes video where he started out with a light blue shirt and ended up with a dark navy shirt. They were baptized in sweat. And then Mr. Street said, I'm glad I didn't get off yet. Y'all got me cracking up with them preachers dancing in the Cadillac. Yo.
All right. Hey, yo, Marcus.
I gotta show him one more in here.
Marcus, we had 3 hours, man. No, we done no more.
You remember him? Hey, I gotta show
that's
you
my man, though.
I gotta show you a man real quick, though. He was killing it.
I can tell them.
Hey. Yo, he killing it though. He got to give him props on his footwork. His footwork clean though.
He flew it, man. He flew it.
Look at the footwork though. He the footwork is on point though. Look.
Oh, okay. My head's hurting now. My head is hurting now. Wow. Yeah,
Again.
if y'all haven't saw this video, y'all go check it out over on my Hebrew Apologetics page. Busting the move for Jesus.
Yeah, correct. This video, this week's episode has been brought to you by Marcus Young Morpheus Cage and the good folks at Bacardi, wherever they're made, Cuba, Puerto Rico, either or, wherever they bottled
Well, it was Cuba, then it became Puerto Rico.
Yeah, correct. So wherever they bottled it, that's who it's brought to you by. My words were not my own; it was theirs.
Yes, it was not. They were speaking through me. Okay, here's one. Oh, I can't, man. Denver, you're trying to get me in trouble. I cannot say that joke.
Oh, he must have made a joke about the alphabet.
He said, check rocking. That's all I'll say. He said, he's an extra from Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. Shoot, he should have been starring the way he was getting down. But yeah, we're going ahead and close it out. This is the Political Matrix. Here, I'm Young Morpheus here, my brother and colleague, Cy Lawson. Thank you all for tuning in for us, especially for y'all that came all the way to the end. I guess
Thomas, you saw the footwork, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas saw that. He's like, yo, I gotta give the boy props right there. I got on my Hebrew Apologetics. Oh yeah, I said this earlier. For those who didn't hear it, I am working on the intro for that. I just got approval from Naviel the Saint. So for those who caught some of those songs that I was playing the other day, he graciously allowed me to use some of his music, and so it's gonna be a dope intro. So that's all I'll say. Yeah. Good. I'm glad we can have your stomach hurting. My head is hurting laughing. I got to get off here. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.